That's disturbing.
What is?
I saw a guy who was like 500% beard. Alright. You guys all good to go?
Jimmy's still having some tabletop trouble.
My tabletop is lagging super hard.
Anybody else having that?
He's the only one that can't connect with me. Oh, here.
Will's not in here yet either, though.
Should I be?
Will is petrified now. That you taught him to just
True.
listen in.
Still joined.
What's the action?
Yeah, unless you don't care about the rest of your team.
It's called Twitch.
Just being realistic, okay?
Yeah, jeez.
Not supposed to know about all the things.
You have to make rolls so that your team can insight check you and understand what you're feeling in your stone form.
He looks.
If you can't move at all, how are we supposed to insight check?
That's
He looks
exactly
so
it.
surprised. I'm stuck.
Oh
in
yeah,
my
does
surprise
anyone remember
shot.
the pose that he was in when he... It was like the fog came down and then... Or like you jumped at her or something?
I was casting a spell
Oh,
because I had to look at her. That's why I looked at her.
right. And then you rolled like double ones or something. It was like a 1 to 2.
I rolled the 3.
Ugh.
I only had one roll.
Okay, well, we're all here. Might as well start. Let's see. There it is. I didn't lose it. Perfect. Welcome back to another game of Skyfall 5e, everybody. How was the week?
It's fine.
It was a week.
It was a week.
Actually, it
Should
was
be
like
more like how
3
was
weeks.
a month?
It was too long.
Yeah, right. Because
We started the necklace thing, and then we had to miss like 2 sessions.
the other groups were like, huh, there's no messages coming in. Oh, well, such is life. Sometimes IRL shit calls and you have to answer. So anyway, it's good to have you guys back for another game. We'll drop you straight back into where you left off with the team conquering a Medusa in her strange lair guarded by rock spiders. And unfortunately, one of you guys gave that Medusa quite the look, and now Merton has become petrified. You guys are in the chamber where her broken sarcophagus lays. Or no, you guys dragged
we
out
made
of
it
there.
back to
Yeah.
the entrance.
So you've looted her and managed to pull your statued Merton out, and you guys are now on the surface of the swamps there. What do you guys want to do?
Did we sleep inside there?
Yeah, I thought we took a rest, so it should be bright morning now, right? Because we did say we had a long rest.
I can't remember if you camped in or out, but yeah, we can say a day has gone by. So you guys get a long rest and wake the next day and find that Merton's condition persists. He is still in his completely stone form, a hand outstretched as though he's about to unleash a spell that he never finishes to do so.
I feel like I should feel worse about this than I do. Like, it was kind of my fault, but at the same time, I feel like he
Wait.
kind of deserved it.
Wow, I was muted again. Fuck. Sorry.
I looked
So
over
is
Gruff
his hand
and
outstretched, like pointing towards something, or like outstretched, like up in the air, like a high five?
What were you
Because
casting,
it's-
Merton?
Blindness, deafness.
Because if it's a high five, I'm giving Statue Burnt a high five. First
Probably
thing in the
doesn't look
morning.
like the most cool spell. But creepy.
He probably has his hand outstretched in like a gnarled fashion, like he's wielding
nope.
some sort of horrible power in the palm of his hand.
Definitely nope. Not touch him.
I did say I wasn't sure, right? Like, it's not my fault that you... Right?
I mean, he is the one who looked. It's not like we grabbed his head and turned it towards her. So that's how I'm gonna move on with it.
Can't blame you for what happened in battle, but Trent, definitely some of this is definitely on you. The plan was something we set together and kind of went out the window once Medusa surprised us a little bit, or once that creature surprised us a bit. I look over towards Zenkas, and he seems okay.
Zenkas, you did not get petrified, and your wounds have since healed over a long rest, I believe. Unless there's something I'm forgetting.
I think he needed to do an injury roll. No?
Oh, I see.
No, like not for getting knocked down, but like to heal the injury.
For sleeping?
Oh, hearing, yeah.
Yeah. If anybody is got an injury right now, they're free to go ahead and roll.
Oh boy.
You have two.
Yeah, I've got an injury.
Oh yeah, can you roll for that injury?
It's a
Sure.
pretty big injury. Petrification.
Nat 20 it will.
I'm pretty sure I can't do that.
I said sure.
Stop doubting yourself.
Oh,
I said
really?
Sure.
Mhm.
All right.
You have to
guys keep
believe.
going, All over the table now.
See? Believe.
He's just
Believe.
gonna shit on you if you roll a 20, by the way. It's gonna be like a nat 20. He's like,
He just
well,
wants me to get in tabletop.
You're stoned.
You're
That's
still
why.
petrified. Welcome to
party
tabletop.
thinks you feel a little bit better on the inside.
You start to regain consciousness just to hear your party shit-talking you and then fade to black.
He deserved it.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Stop. I'm thinking.
Roll those big old green dice.
What the?
Here we go.
We'll hang a
Come
table.
on, 20. Oh, no!
What the fuck was that?
There's little Skittles underneath them.
How
Oh,
dare
it like
Skittles
jumped. It skip hop bibbity bopped.
Can I roll my portent rolls?
Sure.
Well, Zenkas, so you feeling any better?
Oh man,
Those
those are
suck.
scrolls.
What'd you get?
A 3 and a 5. At least somebody can fail some saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Zenkas, I snapped my fingers in front of his face. You in there?
He stares off into the distance.
Well, when we're ready to move, I'll need that spell again. The strength of a bull, you said. But where are we going? Do we have a way, a direction we need to go?
He doesn't answer you, his gaze peering off unwaveringly into some unfathomable and invisible abyss.
I've already turned and looked at the other two and just said, where do we need to go? I still like snapping my fingers in front of Zenkas'
Yeah,
face.
just turn it into his
You in
backstory
there?
and then it'll make sense.
You in there?
Well, we still need to find. What's the city called?
Ever.
No, the one over here. God, it's been so long. Valoo. We still need to find Valoo. So, does anybody have any way of scouting?
I don't know, but can we not go the next cave we find?
I mean, if the next cave has people in it, we might have to if we're gonna find Valoo. This is a huge forest. We could spend weeks wandering.
Yeah, but last time we went to a cave, and I'm gonna point to Martin.
Yeah, I know, but not every cave is gonna have a Medusa.
Yeah, well, you tricked us
Illyria.
last time. Well, not me.
Did you have an idea of where some people might have traveled last time? Perhaps you could help us find these druids or this grove that
Sure.
Tessa used to call home.
Oh, if I remember correctly, those footprints went to this cave.
Yeah, this is what she let us do last time.
That's true.
So if you guys want to go
My
back
fault.
in...
That's true. Well, we have no
Can we find
idea
some
where
more?
in the swamps we are, right?
I think I could find some more footprints.
Anyone want to make a survival check and go wandering around?
Oh yeah.
Wait, do you guys have survival?
She's
Yeah, I'm
the only one with
proficient in it.
proficiency. She's
Okay.
the only one with it. That's how I was
Hey.
Evolution, do I know
It's a 16.
Can make it a 3.
do I know the
That's
approximate
special.
location of Valoo?
Yeah, you know where it is on the map marker, but you also know, I'm pretty sure you guys have checked and made a couple history rolls, so you know that it's called the Hidden City, so that marker's really like an approximation, right? Nobody really knows where it is.
But like, if I were to get us to like that area, that's what I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a little bit more west and a little bit more south to go.
Oh, do we know that we're northeast of it?
I think so.
I thought you just slapped us
Yeah,
in the middle
I
because
thought we
Oh,
did.
right, no, because you were dropped in there. Sorry, there's another group that's, like, around this area, and so I've kind of got their stuff on the brain. But yeah, you guys have been dropped here. You have no idea where you are. You could be up
Alright,
here,
so
you
here's
could
what
be
I'm
down
thinking,
over here.
guys. We
My
need to find
survival's a
Valoo.
16.
What I think we should do is travel west until we hit the shore, because that's going to be the closest exit to where Valoo is. Regardless of where we exit the woods, if we have to head straight west, it's going to put us closest to Valoo from where we were. And then from there, we're just going to have to find like the closest point of the sea to the woods, and from there, if we head up around southeast, that's
Now-
our best bet to find Valoo. It's going to be a fucking trick.
Now, I know the two of you are very opposed to this idea, but I want to bring up another suggestion. If we head north, we'll eventually leave the swamps, and there is a city you two are both familiar with.
I don't know.
They have a lot more, people that definitely are more attuned to curing petrification. And if
I
our
feel like
friend's
once I
life
go to
is-
the city, my parents will never let me leave again.
well, maybe you should try disguising yourself or staying outside of it. But if we're leaving Merton's life in our hands, then
I don't
Just
think
wandering through the
Solsland is
swamp.
the right way to go with this.
searching for a grove of druids that we have no idea where they are.
Traveling to a wizard town when we have a wizard and a bard who've already tried
Sorcerer.
arcane,
Sorcerer.
sorcerer, who have already tried arcane magics, we've discovered that it can't be broken the way that we have. Dispel magic did nothing to this enchantment. It's gonna need some sort of cleric or druid to see to.
In
Some
a
sort of-
studied city or magical city like Soulsland, are you saying there's no one who would know anything about petrification or the ways
I think
to
we're
cure
better
it?
off finding these druids who are maybe more studied.
I'm not saying
Lot
there's
more
nobody who is studied in it. I'm just saying it's not Soulsland's specialty. And it's a lot
It is
further.
a druids.
I mean, we're looking at potentially like a few weeks of traveling, and if you can only carry him with that spell on you, we're not going to be getting very far at all. We'd be spending months getting out of here.
Okay.
At least heading towards the shore, we can, scavenge in the woods for supplies, and we could survive off the woods. If we leave north, not knowing how far we are from the road, we could, run out of food in the plains between the woods and the road.
Well, I am here to carry your burdens if you think carrying Merton around these swamps is the right way to go. Let's do it then, your original plan. That is. Zenkas. Are you ready? Table talk. Clanran, are you there? I'm talking to you.
Has he been here at all?
I don't know.
He
Might have
gives
been
his
AFK
normal
this whole time.
response.
He honestly might have been AFK from the beginning of the session.
Probably was.
Do you
Once
see
you
his
chat
mouse
from
moving
him?
around? I don't see a red little hand.
He's typing.
Purple.
Hold on. Here it comes.
Well, my
For
push-to-talk
fuck's
is
sake,
working.
my push to talk is working on my phone.
Well, aren't you on your computer?
Not my computer.
Oh.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't
He-
get it either.
I think he opened
Because
Discord on his phone. Okay.
I opened up Discord on my phone last week, and it changed it completely around all my settings on my computer.
Oh, I didn't know it does that.
Thanks, Discord.
Mine does for some reason.
Okay.
Nice.
So now that you're back with us,
Yeah, I
Or-
cast Enhance Ability. I cast it before they all talked that. Before they did all that talking.
sure. As you cast it on me, then I'll lift Merton with the little rope straps that we secured last time, and basically secure him on my back.
Okay. And you guys are
Smooth.
traveling straight south?
Straight east. West.
East.
Sorry, west.
West.
Towards the shore. We
West.
want to get over here.
Sorry.
Until we're heading towards water.
Okay.
Well, I guess the western water. Jesus.
There's water everywhere. I would like somebody in the group to roll luck, please.
Your luck roll.
How about you,
Unless you
Stony
want,
Boy?
I think we make Will roll luck for us from now on.
Yeah, Will's our official luck roller until he's secured.
He's not official luck roller anymore. We fired
Oh,
him.
Marble, you lost
Good
it.
shit on. I think Lucian wants that.
5-2 from Will.
It's 'cause I hit
Someone
the
lost
sign.
it.
It just means that we're gonna be like over here.
So, grabbing a hold of your statued friend, you now go and make your journey throughout the swamp. If you travel west long enough, you'll eventually hit the coast, and from there can decide where it is that you want to go. There's no telling where you might be in the swamp woods, but you begin your travel, and a few hours go by of carrying, carrying Merton on your back. How long does Enhance Ability last for? Yep, I'll look it up. Give me a
I'm
sec.
looking it up for you.
It's only an hour.
Oh, okay.
We have to spend another spell slot every hour.
Okay.
How many spell slots we have?
So travel for you guys is not particularly fast, and on the first day, you don't emerge from the swamps. The ability to carry Merton is something that Zakul can do, but whenever the spell wears off, or when spell slots are running low, the rest of you guys have to pitch in, and that's not easy either. You do eventually, however, get into a little spot in the swamp, one of those raised areas surrounded by water, and turn in for the night, falling asleep. Are you guys going to be doing anything this evening at camp?
Definitely have to set watch. For the
Can
end of
I?
the
Yeah. Can
Can
I
I?
burn a spell slot to try and heal Zenkas?
Sure.
Does he
Do you
work
have
any
level
better
3
today?
healing?
Well, if they're level spell slots, then I could use Cure Wounds at third.
Sure. Yeah, you're full cleric or whatever? Full bard?
She's
Sword.
divine favor sorcerer.
Yeah.
Ah,
the
yes,
ones-
yes. The best class in the game.
Oh, yes.
You can roll another injury check there, Zenkas. Maybe you'll get something good.
A hearty talk. Oh no.
Your heart explodes.
I tried.
So nothing.
Yep.
You guys
Lucian,
mentioned... Uh-huh.
is there anything? I mean, I'm trying to think from my perspective, but I don't know what the woods look like around here.
Hmm.
Is there anything that I could potentially, maybe not me specifically craft, but get any of my allies help in making so that we could share the weight of Burton? Because, you know, having to stop for the spell cast every hour and then the rest of us all kind of having to lug together. Could we like build some sort of sled with like a bunch of ropes tied to it so we can all like distribute his weight?
You could, as long as you're comfortable with him being plunged under the water every now and then.
Oh,
Okay.
Because
So
there,
there's
he
like
doesn't need to breathe.
a lot of the swamp is like, like knee-high water and stuff like that. Sometimes up to your waist or even higher.
okay. Well, I will at least, suggested to the group.
What are you suggesting to the group?
Making a sled
I was
for Merton's
thinking-
body.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could make a sled for Merton so that we could all share his weight instead of one of us, or in my case, a couple of us having to carry him while the rest do
Could
nothing.
be something we can make together. Do we have any?
Aleutian, have I ever heard of those those shoulder carrying things from like in Egypt? Do you know like the pharaoh carts?
Oh, like where you have a bunch of slaves on each side carrying the thing over shoulder?
Yeah, well, it's 4 people and there's 4 of us.
That's
we
true.
Put Merton on top of it.
Yeah, I'd say
So I
that you'd
think
know
that
about
would
that.
Possibly work.
You could try it. Do you guys have
mean,
tools to do any woodwork?
I don't have shit.
I
have a brain.
Working now.
I can come up with the blueprint. That's about it.
When
Hmm.
Trent looks over at me, seeing if I have tools as he brings this idea up, I just shake my head like I break things.
I have that dark ass metal we could, get some nails or at least like some slivers of metal to hold stuff together with. And there's plenty of trees here.
Well, if
We
we
would
can
just
get,
have to commit time to cutting it down. It's up to you guys though.
I look around and then I ask Illyria, is there anything we can use as almost a 10-foot pole or something? We need something 2 long lengths of
Like a 10-foot pole?
something along those lines. Wood that would be.
Can I look around to see if there's any kind of like trees, I guess, fitting that description?
Most of the trees here in the swamp are like long, gnarled sort of things, and you don't find much for straight branches.
Well, are you aware if any of this wood would be particularly sturdy, Illyria? We just need 2 pieces so we can wrap this tarp around just to make like a miniature sled that won't drag or sink too deeply.
I mean, do you guys have a tarp?
I do. I pull out my favorite.
So-
Did I throw this away? Hold on, let me scroll down.
Oh wait, is that the body tarp that we always wrap the bodies in?
Yeah, I actually vaguely remember us. Oh no!
we lost the tarp.
I lost it. It's on Tesla's body. No. Okay, I don't have the tarp.
The tarp of ultimate destiny.
I shrug. I have a blanket. That's probably the best we can do.
Yeah, if you could if we just have a few sturdy branches, we can. Are there vines here, Aleutian?
There's plenty of vines, and as you look around, you can see that there's more than you could possibly hope for. I also need a wisdom saving throw from you.
Oh, shit.
From who?
I'm assuming me.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh, that was rude.
That was rude.
Oh, that's like a 5 or 6.
Okay.
We're supposed to get all the bad rolls out like on Thursday, and this is not acceptable.
Alright.
You've been having a rough week.
I had a really good session last night. I was rolling crits and
Oh.
You
Long
exhausted your supply. That's what happened.
I'd like you to make a insight check, please.
me.
Yes.
Oh, that's a roll.
Okay.
21 insight.
You're looking around the swamp there with your group and puzzling over how you're going to more efficiently move Merton about. You've been dragging him for 1 day's worth of march, and it's already a burdensome and slow process. Maybe something can be built here. But, while you're staring around at the vines and the other building material, you suddenly get an uneasy and sort of restless feeling, and you sense that you're being watched.
So, Illyria, do you have any idea?
Guys.
Well. Yep.
Tech. Do I have detect magic prepared today? Yes, I do. Detect magic. Activate. Do I sense sense anything around me?
What the fuck?
Are we being scryed
What are
upon?
you doing?
You can sense a source of magic around you. There's a divination nearby that hovers above your head, maybe about 10 feet in the air.
Oh, above
Can
our head.
Could I shoot like a firebolt or something at it to see if it does anything?
Sure, I'd say you can shoot at it with disadvantage, since you can't actually see it or anything.
I'm straining my eyeballs looking around as Trent seems to be alert.
I'm just like, we're being watched, and then I'll fire this up into the sky. 17? Oh no, wait, our proficiency went up. That's 18.
Okay. You turn to the sky and flail your hand for a moment, and a little firebolt goes up, and you guys see, not 10 feet above Trent, the firebolt impacts something, and whatever it is that it impacts must have been invisible, as the fire kind of goes off in random directions, and you guys hear like the shattering of glass, but you don't actually see anything after that.
I look over towards Trent. We need to move. The last time that happened, something black came out and murdered Tessa.
Do we still have, do I still sense the divination there?
No, you don't.
Okay. Alright, yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Once again, we need to move now. Give me the strength for the bull. This is after a rest, right? So this is...
No, you guys were about to camp.
Yeah, this is like at the beginning of the night.
Okay.
So like
does
it's
he
already
not have a
dark in the
spell slot?
swamp and everything.
Does he not have a spell slot?
I assume you would burn them all.
Okay, well, then we have to move them without that.
Can I try and help?
Sure.
Help, I guess, hold some of the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Sticking close to the pool.
So without having the bonus strength here, Zakul, how about you go ahead and make an athletics roll? And since your party's helping you out, you can do it with advantage.
He is a strong boy.
That is a 27.
Okay.
Cool.
With a little bit of help, you guys are able to hoist up Merton again and start shuffling off. And you guys make a quick dash across different parts of the swamp, trying to get away from whatever may have just happened here. And as you guys are continuing along, Trent, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Real quick, I have this, I forgot to do something with it. I have this, amulet of free movement from last session.
Yes.
I would have, while we're walking along here, I would have been asking, who we think should be wearing it. Because it's not really any good on me with, the whole,
You could put it on
broken
Merton.
leg thing. I already tried that last session, it didn't work.
Ugh.
Oh my god! Fucking hell! That's 7.
Okay. Let's see here. Maybe about half an hour later of shuffling around here, the feeling returns, and you once again have this sense that you're being watched.
Motherfucker! I'm gonna cast Detect Magic again.
Okay? You can feel it, a divination source that sort of hovers behind your group as you're shuffling along.
Fuck off!
I guess I would have told Trent to give me the necklace for now, since I'm...
21 to hit,
Sure.
or sorry, 23 to hit. 20, no. Jesus, my math is bad. 22.
Okay. You blast the thing a second time. The shattering of glass tells you that you must have hit, and the sensor is gone, and you feel it.
Change direction!
You feel it fade from your detect magic. After that, you go and move in a different direction, and you guys continue shuffling on. The night begins to grow dark, and more you see the little tails of fireflies that start to make their way through the swamp, and hear the croaking of frogs now becoming more active as things are getting dark. But for you guys, the thoughts are not on the wildlife, more so trying to escape what's going on here. How long are you actually going to continue?
I mean, if we're being pursued, I'll continue urging them, even if it's getting late and tiresome for us.
Sure. Do you guys want to go on through the night?
Is Trent continuing to be detected by something and having to shoot it?
I would say another half an hour goes by, and he does not.
Oh. You think we lost?
Oh, did we say to give the amulet to Zencast?
No, to Sakul, I think.
Sakul.
Yeah, I was saying if we had that conversation while we were walking, I would have suggested I wear it until we free Merton, just because
Alright.
If I get tied down, then we have to leave the statue too.
You have the necklace of free movement.
Don't know exactly what that does. I will put it on.
I think it just like prevents things from grappling you or something like that, Illusion. You said it was different than the normal one, that's why.
You said it adds double your proficiency to checks to maintain. Like if you make a saving throw.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what I told.
I do. You said you add double your proficiency to saving throws to that impair movement.
That sounds about right.
Okay. Wait, so if I'm saving against something I don't have proficiency in, it doesn't do anything?
I guess so, yeah. In that case, I'd probably just let you add your proficiency to it. Just once.
I was like, if I don't have dex saving their proficiency, then okay, that's valid. I have the necklace on, and when we stop for 30 minutes without Trent jumping up, I'll say, "Do you think we lost him?" Puffing and
I
puffing.
don't know, man. This whole thing is so fucky.
How are they even able to track us through this? We're covered by foliage. We're wandering somewhere to the west. Do you think this might be something of Tyrannus' doing?
Yeah, maybe he's checking up on us, or somebody has an amulet scrying on us, using the amulet.
Sir Tyrannus told us that he could just sort of talk to us whenever he needed to. Like, if he needed to get in touch with us, we'd know.
You're correct.
Something along those lines.
That glass shattering noise, that probably was much like that orb or thing that was watching us right before the black monster came. I'm not too keen on fighting one of those. It's what killed Tessa.
Yeah. I don't
Given
really. I'd like to be less dead.
Right. Given our party circumstances without Merton, I don't think we can take one on in the middle of the swamp. Let's tentatively set a camp here. Let's put the statue down next to me. No fires. We stay silent. Have someone on watch, but we need to get some rest for tomorrow.
Oh, I'll take first watch.
Okay. You guys turn in for the night, set a watch order, and go about your business here. And who's on first watch?
I am.
Okay. Illyria, it's about an hour later. Everybody has turned in for the night and is sleeping in the darkness here. What bits of them you can see comes from very, very sparse moonbeams that come down from the sky and the light of the stars. It's pretty tough to tell what's going on here. Given that you guys don't have a fire, you're more of a hearing sensor than anything. And sitting there and hearing all the sounds of the swamp in all their detail with no real distraction, you suddenly hear something strange off in the distance, and I'd like you to make a perception check to see how well you can tell what's going on.
Okay.
Let's see what I can get. Oh, a decent perception. Ooh, +6, so it's 22.
Okay. The sound comes to you at first like a sort of cacophonous thing, and it's incredibly loud, like a thundering almost. It doesn't seem to be enough to wake your group, but it does rise up above the sound of like the frogs croaking and the other swamp denizens as they go about their business. It's like a snap, like a whip being cracked almost, but there's something more to it. Something weighty and powerful that sort of follows in its wake. And as you hear this and kind of turn off in the direction to see if you can see anything, maybe a light that's come into existence or something like that, you don't get any of that. There's nothing to be seen, just the sound that you hear. But you do realize that it comes from the exact same direction where your group had been traveling just a moment ago.
Oh. I'm gonna gently wake up Zakul first.
Okay. You've been asleep for an hour, Zakul, and Illyria is nudging you awake.
Turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's up?
What's wrong?
So I hear something coming from where we came from, but it kind of sounds weird. It's definitely not an animal.
Something following us.
Yeah, it's kind of like. Listen, just listen really well.
I would try and turn his head or his ear towards the direction it's coming from to try and help him hear it.
Sure. You pause for a moment, Zakul. You're still a bit tired, but you can make a perception roll.
Rogue dice! Rogue dice! Why did
It's
it turn
escaping.
like that?
The 16.
That's
Why
not
did
bad.
it do a curve? What the fuck?
You pause here and think for a second and look off in that direction. Just darkness and the silhouette of blackened trees in the middle of the night. You don't hear anything. It's just that sound of all the different swamp creatures. Perhaps what she heard was instantaneous and not a continuous thing. And then it happens. Just as you're about to turn back to Illyria and declare that you've got nothing, you hear what sounds like a whip snap off in the distance, and it comes from the recent path that your group had taken.
There's definitely something following us. I'll wake Zenkas and grab Trent. Ready to move.
I'm gonna go start nudging Trent awake.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cover his mouth immediately so he doesn't say anything.
I slowly
Sure.
roll in Zenkas' direction and nudge him as like try to keep him quiet if he makes noises.
Okay.
Trent, there's something following us. Don't make a noise.
I'm gonna move my hand off his mouth.
Zenkas, there's something moving towards us. Get ready to move or to confront it. I'm not sure what it is yet.
Lucian, can I, whispering no louder than, Tessa just talked, or, god damn it, than Illyria just talked to me, can I make a, can I try and, cast Detect Magic at that volume? Or is it, like, do you kind of have to, like, yell incantations?
No, you can say it hush-hush if you want. You can make a stealth check to see if you can do it really silently.
Well, my important rolls definitely won't help with this, so let's see if...
The big ol' 3-5. Oh my god, Jimmy. You're having troubles tonight.
This is how everything I've rolled for, like, the past week, other than last night where I rolled my own dice, everything for, like, a week has just been, like, garbage.
Yeah, when we played on Saturday, it was just like garbage.
That is, like, an 8 stealth.
An 8.
I was
Okay.
gonna say 9, but I only have 1 text.
You try and say the words as silently as you can. You don't know if anything's going to hear you or not out there in the darkness, but you do what you can to complete the spell without arousing too much suspicion, too much noise.
Once I have that up, I'll just start packing everything and getting ready to move.
Okay.
If we need to.
Are you guys
get
going
there.
further east?
We're going west, weren't we? Whole time?
Or west, sorry?
I think we cut up to go north last time. Like, after the last, what's it called that we
Oh,
got?
the scrying thing?
Last scry. So I would say we should continue to go north for a little bit and then maybe cut east after that.
Back east? Like, are we trying to lose them as a team?
So, like, if we were going like this, then we stopped and went like this for a little while.
Okay.
And then I want to go like this somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, sort of like a zigzag.
We're going west.
Serpentine is the strongest
No,
pattern.
oh, yeah, west. Sorry, not east. That's where I got confused.
Okay.
I was like, it's just the same way we were trying to get.
So you guys continue west and immediately start to move. Grabbing Merton, you guys roll up your bedrolls and you're off again. There's no rest for you guys tonight. It seems whatever's going on, it doesn't seem to want to let you be. You travel for a little while, going maybe about 5 minutes with Merton here, then another 5, then another 5. And before 20 minutes has passed, you hear it again. Behind you, this time sounding closer, the sound of like a whip crack.
Whatever it is catching up to us. It's faster than us. We may have to confront what it is. Perhaps on our own terms. Shall we set an ambush?
In the spot that you guys are at, everything around you is darkness. Even that moment where you step into the water and your feet plunge into like murky swamp is only barely noticeable because the stars sometimes reflect off of its surface. You can't really see anything around you, and as you hear the whip crack from behind, you can tell that this thing is closing. When this occurs, I want you guys to make a perception check, please.
No time to set an ambush. It's too close.
Hey, look, I rolled something with 2 numbers on the dice. What does that mean?
It means you're not the Jimmy that I know.
That's a
Gee, Kimmy.
20, not natural.
Okay. I don't know what Zencast's role was, and Merton, you would notice this, but you guys all see something, roughly in the direction that you guys were traveling from before, but a bit off to the side. There's the ever faintest glimmer of light. It seems to have a yellowish, greenish hue. You can continue moving west and move slightly south in its direction if you want, or maybe try and find a hiding spot for whatever's coming after you. That's up to you guys. But for the most part, the terrain around is just this sort of featureless, dark swamp, save for what looks like a distant light in one direction.
I whisper this again to the other. Well, quickly decide. Are we waiting for what's coming? Confronting an ambush again?
Something lands on the ground near you guys. It sounds like kind of wet, and then you hear a croak, and a frog like takes off nearby. You see like the sort of glistening bit of light over its back as it leaps into a little bit of water and then plunges through.
Here, Zenjess, do you, you can sort of communicate through our mind, right?
Nope.
Apparently not.
Damn.
He's zoning out.
It's not going off again?
Oh,
There you go.
There you go.
You haven't said anything for the past.
I think it's not letting me talk unless I'm tabbed into Discord.
Oh,
that's
you'd
weird.
have to restart your
you need
Discord.
to reopen Discord as administrator.
It always runs as administrator.
Ooh. Restart this bitch.
That's the spookiest thing I've ever heard.
Okay, you said that so casually. Merton, you would hear.
Merton, you would say it. Well, Zenkus, can you do that thing where you talk with us through our minds?
Yes.
Here, I'll make him invisible. Casting invisibility on him.
Zenkas, you are touched by Trent for a brief second, and a magic runs over your body. And at that moment, I would like somebody to make a luck roll. I'm looking at you, Will.
I don't know. He was unofficially demoted.
Here we go.
Oh, is he demoted?
He was demoted because of his
I didn't
last
hit the wall this time.
We'll trust.
Okay, that's okay.
2, 12. Next, he's gonna roll a 22, guys.
I thought I was gonna roll over to that one.
Grab my D100.
You hear something off in the distance. Once again, it seems to come from the same direction that you guys were just in a moment ago. Something is definitely on your trail. This time, it's not a whip crack, but it sounds like something much more like normal, tangible, something that you can understand. It's sort of like a pawing or a scrabbling at the ground. You can hear what sounds like foliage being messed with, or maybe like a boot print landing in swampy ground, that sort of thing. It must be hundreds of feet away, but you hear like that bit of rustle, that bit of fetter off in the back.
After I cast that, I'm just gonna bunker in and try and hide as best I can amongst the trees here.
Sure.
Short gesture for everybody to crouch down and get into cover.
Is there any solid ground close to one of the trees that I could set Merton down without having to risk him sinking into quicksand or anything?
There is one great tree that's next to you guys.
Sure. I will place him down where I'm sure he won't sink into the mud, disappear.
Sure. You place him down next to the tree, and then what?
I mean, I'll stand next to him for now and brace myself, keeping my eye in that direction.
Sure.
I'm using my shield and hammer.
I say to Jimmy in his head, I'm guessing you want me to scout ahead?
I nod. And then when I realize it's pitch black, I'll be like, yeah. If you see anything, tell us in our minds.
So what way are we hearing it from?
I would say right now from this direction. Shuffle, shuffle. Oh, he's moving. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
No, I'm moving. I'm tabbing out to talk because even in administrator mode, it's not letting me.
Do you want to restart your computer? We can take 5 minutes.
I'll end the process tree for Discord and see if that does anything.
Sure.
I never heard you disconnect or reopen Discord though.
We did now.
Sounds and shit.
Oh, he's back. Any better?
Did it work?
If you're talking right now, we don't hear you.
Didn't work, didn't it?
Motherfucker.
Well, if we take 5 minutes, I'm making guacamole.
That sounds so good.
I'm disabling it on my phone because my settings are still crossing over from my phone.
Ah. Well, no need to get too mad. We'll take a brief break here, maybe 5-10 minutes, and
goodbye.
See if we can fix Discord, and most importantly, make that guacamole. So we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
Did everybody get their PUBG rewards from Twitch Prime?
Excuse me?
Excuse?
What did they give out this time?
a spa day outfit.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Got something from RuneScape on Twitch Prime there, Will. Or Warframe.
Something from RuneScape. What, just like a free membership or something?
In-game loot. Let's see. Membership and loot pack.
SteamWorld Dig is an awesome game. It's free on Twitch Prime right now.
Eternal strategy card game. What was the game?
SteamWorld Dig.
Oh. Got that quite a bit ago. Not bad. So Jotun, Wizardry, and Eternal are the 3 new games for this month.
Okay, there. This is working now?
Testing.
Hello?
We definitely hear you.
Okay. Okay, it's working then.
I wonder what's chasing you bitches.
Sounds like some slave caravan type thing.
That'd be funny.
Because we're all enslaved and we like take your statue.
Yeah, y'all get enslaved.
Then we just end up breaking wheel apart for rocks for a gravel road.
That got dark.
Yeah, well, it's dark out right now.
Why are you breaking me apart?
Use gravel.
Make concrete out of you.
Wow, that's some some gravel.
It has a genuine undead. I'll ask Lucian to erase this note there. I was just keeping track of the sessions, but we're at session 16 now, since he disabled it.
Disabled what?
He disabled our ability to modify the side thing.
Oh, why?
If somebody was abusing it.
This Tuesday group, I'm pretty... No, that wasn't...
You can abuse typing?
I don't know.
You can abuse note taking?
People are annoying, I guess.
Well, I think it was Tuesday with their whole planning of the Unity Tower.
Planning of the non-T tower. I didn't hear about that.
Was Tuesday the one that was after that tower?
They're in the Yuan-Ti stuff. Thursday group is near us. They were like, they Went in Baloo, left, and then went somewhere else.
Okay, I think Tuesday was originally like planning their destruction of the tower a couple of weeks ago. And I think they were like half the board was just notes. Like of them doing all the different measurements and everything. Half the board was notes everywhere.
I'm sure that wasn't annoying.
We reveal ourselves to this party or whatever, and it just ends up being like a nice couple that are just into whips and chains.
I think if we had rolled high enough, maybe some scouts from Valoo might have found us.
I thought you were some swingers.
But you'll never know now.
That's the voice of the couple.
Baby. Oh shit, it's neck 2. Here comes the money.
Money talks.
Okay. And Ren has gotten the fix and he's ready to go, I think. He's still here.
But did Kay get guacamole, most importantly? Ooh, see? Hold your horses there, Z.
Holding the horses.
A lot of things in life are important.
Oh yeah, so Lucian.
But they're all superseded by guacamole.
This note taking has been disabled. Do you mind deleting this thing off the right end? Because I have like I have it written down on my notepad here now, up to session 16.
Where? What notepad?
On the right hand side of the screen for tabletop.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't update it any further. Let's get rid of it all.
How come I can't? I don't even remember how to open that.
At the bottom right corner.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes.
Lucian, I posted a picture to General of the spa day outfits for PUBG. Doesn't it just make you want to play the game?
I like the guy's like discerning look on the right.
He's like, yeah, I'm not too sure if I'm comfortable with you seeing me like this, but fuck it. I'll let it go this time.
I'll pick up an 8x and kill you. It won't matter.
I do kind of want the little flip-flops. I think those would go well with my current outfit. Not that I've played PUBG in like a month.
Are we waiting on the guac?
We're waiting on guac.
Sadly waiting on the guac.
Come back, guacamole. I thought it would be like go to the kitchen, pull out a container of guacamole, but it turned
Oh, I
out to
think
be
she's
like,
actually like mashing it up.
yeah,
She went to the farmer's market.
yeah.
A few avocados.
She's talking with somebody on like a little horse-drawn cart right now.
She's bartering.
Yeah. 2 silver for no, these aren't even ripe. Come on,
Are you kidding me?
for
Not
avocados
even
like those.
seasoned.
Avocado. What's that
Free
from?
shavacadoo.
What's that from?
Go to Del Taco. They got
Oh yeah.
shavacadoo. I know my memes, gentlemen. That's not
I don't even think I ever heard that.
Wow.
a meme. That's all you gotta know.
Here it is.
Get to Del Taco. They got a new thing called
Oh yeah, is that plain shit crocodile?
Free
Just unusable?
Shavacadoo. Free Shavacadoo.
Fuck. There it is.
Del Taco.
Ugh. I love it when people die like halfway through a joke or something.
Freak shit. Free shavacadoo.
Whoa.
It's okay, Kay. I didn't want to play D&D tonight anyway.
I want to see the cannon. Let's put a cannon over here.
Oh, you want the cannon?
The
Wait,
corner-
hold on.
corner.
If we take a thing, I think this behaves like most of the. Oh no, see that's the
Yeah,
problem. It doesn't lock items, but we could do like this one here is the cannon, you know.
Sure.
But then it would shoot probably off the table.
No. You can set the power to it. Here, promote me
It just
for a
like
moment.
limply
I'll bring
pushes the
it.
dice
Here,
like
I'm
1
sorry.
inch.
Here,
back.
promote me for a moment. I'll bring it in.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Then you can mess with it, Lucian.
Okay, no. We'll do it after guacamole.
You mean after
Okay.
D&D?
Yes.
Guacadilly? Free shavacadoo?
Guacadilligator?
Did you
Free
get your
shavacadoo.
free shavacadoo?
Free shavacadoo.
Alright, we're good to go.
Yes, sorry, thank you.
All good.
Fuck, where's my knife? That's okay.
Why are you narrating?
Huh? Oh.
Nothing.
Okay, so with Zencast turned invisible there, Zencast, where are you going? Free shavacadoo. Yep.
It's going to Del Taco.
He's going to Del Taco.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Break
he's back.
again?
Go find the avocado, Zencast. Tell us telepathically what you found.
We're being hunted. Can you find out if that light in the distance is a Del Taco?
They just opened one up in the jungle.
It's a moving Del Taco.
Is it a food truck? We're saved. Seriously though, where are you going? Are you
never
investigating
been
the
to
sound
Del
coming after you? Are you going for the light? Are you taking a swim?
Okay, well, which way are we seeing the light and which way is the whipping sound?
The light is right over here. And the sound is this direction.
Oh.
Yeah,
and this is not like map-oriented FTW or BTW.
For the win.
For the win.
I'm not sure which one Jimmy wanted me to go towards
No.
when he made me invisible.
He just
Same
told you
thing.
to find out something and telepathically tell us. You decide. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, where do you want to go?
I want to go towards the light.
That's the opposite. I
Oh,
even
really?
put S for sound.
I'm not paying it. I'm not paying attention.
I
Okay.
thout that was a snake.
Or a whip.
You travel
What is
towards the
going on?
snakes.
Anyways,
It could be a whip.
okay,
too.
so it's going towards the light. Let's go, guys.
Okay. Zencast, you head over towards the light. As you do, your foot steps into a pool of murky water, and once again, just as the common travel through the swamp is, you're starting to get all muddy and dirty going through this, like, high pool. And, you're invisible, so hopefully that lends some aid, but moving through a place like this, which is just, like, murky, just, like, waterlogged, is really quite difficult to do so quietly. But you're doing the best that you can, and headed off towards this light. You travel for a little bit, and probably get to about here. Are you stealthing, by the way?
Yes.
Can you roll stealth for me?
You have advantage because invis.
But I have disadvantage on ability checks.
Oh, okay.
An
Pesky
invisible,
injury.
crippled gnome.
Halfway.
Not a gnome. Halfling. Get it right.
They're basically the same thing.
There's like 4 little races.
Except one speaks a more important language.
21.
21? Okay. You go sneaking off towards the direction of the light. As for you guys, back here, you hear something. Once again, there's more of those sounds off in the distance. Whatever it is, it approaches. It's not the whip crack, but that strange kind of like something moving about on the ground sort of noise. And then, you hear something else. Trent, Illyria, and Zakul, please make a perception check.
Why did the dice suddenly like roll curve?
I don't know, but I think they screwed with the physics engine.
I think Illusion tilted his table to screw all of us. It's just like 1
I mean,
degree
it helped
off
me
now.
there. I was gonna get a nat 1, and that turned into a 17. So.
Screwed me.
All the dice slightly move over now.
I'll give you guys the Miramar special, where I just put a bunch of invisible polygons on the table.
Jesus Christ.
And your dice explode when they roll.
No, it just auto puts them to a 1.
That's basically the same thing, right?
Why does this keep happening? Somebody got an actually good roll, a 22. Okay, so Trent, you're on the other side of the tree, but you're listening. You've got an ear to the other side, knowing the sounds come from that direction, and you hear something, and for the first time in that fetter, you hear something that you're certain of. Like, you can sort of pull it out and go, I know exactly what that is. You hear jaws closing. Like the sound of some beast closing its mouth and then opening its mouth
like
again.
Those gators that we fought?
Definitely not.
Okay. Well, that's good, maybe? Or bad? I don't know.
The other thing that you're able to gather from it is that given the distance, this thing is either farther away than you expect, because it's kind of tough to place distance in the middle of the middle of the night here, and is rather large, or is maybe closer than you expect, and is actually more reasonably sized. It's hard to tell.
What's the range I think it could be? Like, if it's like really small, how close could it be? And if it's really big, how far do I think it could be?
Right, I'd say if
Like,
this thing has
range
snuck
right
up,
here, or...
if this thing has snuck up to you guys and is like maybe 100 feet away, you wouldn't be surprised if it was like maybe as big as like a big dog or something, you know?
Okay.
But if it's actually a few hundred feet away, and you can't really tell which, then this could be like a sizable beast. Not like an ogre or anything, but...
okay. We're not talking
much
like
larger.
dragon size here?
Yeah, no.
Well, that's good.
So you've ruled out anything that's in the like huge or gargantuan category. And it has a mouth, it seems.
How aware am I of where everybody in my party is, given that it's pitch black, other than like the moon that creeps through here and there?
I'd say you heard Zencast go off in this direction, but actually your perception check's pretty good. So you know he's still creeping off towards the light. As for Illyria and Zakul, you know they're on the other side of the tree somewhere, probably like 5 or 10 feet away.
Okay. I'm going to step around the tree this direction.
Okay.
Actually, no. My first instinct here. Sorry, is going to be to kind of creep up around this way, and then not really knowing exactly where Illyria is, I'm just going to sort of whisper to the darkness.
Illyria, I hear Jaws, which means it's probably something that does melee. Might want to get to the other side of the tree.
Oh. Okay. Can I feel around for a tree?
Come towards my voice.
Yeah, you can feel the tree there and gradually move towards Trent. And on your way there, your foot steps down and you crush a twig underneath. And when it snaps, the sound, that fetter off in the distance, stops. And then you hear what sounds like a cry from some animal. And it's unlike anything that you guys have ever heard before, straddling the line between something mammalian and something else that you can't really put your finger on.
Fuck.
Doesn't sound like Hyprex beasts, right?
No.
Because we've heard those.
That sound is probably ingrained in your memory forever.
Yeah, considering they broke my leg. I'm going to grab this tree and start reaching up to see if there's any branches there. Like,
Okay.
just blindly feeling for, like, a large limb that I could pull myself up onto.
Now, meanwhile, Zencast, you're traveling over here. Thankfully, you emerge from whatever pool of water you were wading through and get back onto some solid land. The whole time while pursuing the light, you had seen how momentarily distant trees or some unknown foliage would move in front of you and kind of block its view, and then it would reappear. But at some point, you get close enough that you turn around, and you must have kind of stepped around the end of some sort of brush, because you can now see the thing much more clearly. Off in the distance, maybe about 50 feet away, you see what looks like an elaborate-looking treehouse. And the thing is lit by a singular lamp that sits on the ground. So to kind of paint the picture, it's like... here we go. I'll do it in white so it's a bit more visible.
I'm just automatically thinking of like the Baba Yaga thing now. If it actually has real tree, like if it's not an actual like tree bottom.
Right. That would be worrisome. So over here, you see what it is. There's like a little lamppost here. And there's steps that have been carved out into the tree.
Do I see anyone?
There's nobody there. There's another thing, though, that you notice is that there's like a huge cluster of fireflies that seem to center around this area. And it's almost like they make swirling rotations around the tree. So the whole area is actually dimly lit, and you can kind of see the thing. The steps go up a considerable way, maybe about 10-15 feet, before they get to a point in the tree where there's an opening, and there's a little doorway that must go, well, presumably into a hollowed-out tree.
Keebler elves, got it.
It's the fudge shop.
What do you want to do?
I wouldn't have heard anything they heard from coming from that other way.
You would have definitely heard the scream.
I would actually start going back to them after seeing this, of course, and because they wanted me to go see what was
back to the group?
Yeah, because my talking in their heads can only be so far.
Sure. So you turn back and make your way back towards the group, and I'd like somebody to make a luck roll, please.
Oh well.
Yeah, Z, that.
It's your calling.
Can he save the group?
God,
It's one better. It's one
Jesus
better.
Christ. You stay stoned forever. Okay.
Not even close, baby.
It's a stone eater.
But you actually have to get really close. You return back towards the group there, Trent. Or sorry, Zenkas. And meanwhile, you guys can still hear the thing. And it sounds like it may have lost your trail. And also, it's getting closer. For all of you guys, you can hear the sound of footsteps on the ground. And now, as it draws nearer, the footsteps have more definition. And without need for a perception check, it sounds like groups of people, almost. Like, if this is a beast, it has a whole number of feet. And if it is like a group of people, there's maybe like half a dozen or something like that.
At this point, I want a second weapon and hold my hammer that's unlit and just raise it up. Identify yourself.
Shit.
You hold up your hammer and some light goes out into the area here. And when you do so, the sound of something moving stops. And then you hear what sounds like a whip crack, and it sounds like it comes from an incredibly close space to you, maybe like 60 or 80 feet away. And then I need everybody to please roll initiative.
I mean, they definitely, like, I'm feeling like they already saw us. They're creeping up on me. At this point, I was just like, I think I need to just run this.
Jimmy, please move your dice. I need to see which way mine falls. Damn it.
Should have
Sorry.
nudged them over this way. Like, move it like this.
Oh my god, is someone riding an animal? Oh, why is it next to me?
Because it's time for fun.
Oh, I'm gonna
Golden
die.
night monsters. Wait, it got that close before they even realized it?
That's fucking terrifying.
I like light the hammer, it's already like a giant jaw in front of my face.
Pretty much.
Oh.
So let's see here. I'll roll initiative for them. Oh.
Yes.
Well, they have the surprise round, but they're not going to be going immediately after, so that's good. We'll put them down here at the bottom. Oh, did you have a nat 20, Trent? Nice.
I did.
Okay. So moving first, you are holding out this light, and how far does that go exactly?
It's
10, 10?
30 feet. Yeah. No, it's 15 dim.
15, 15, okay. You're holding out the hammer, and at some point on the edge of the light, you think you see something, and then it's darting towards you. And as it runs in your direction, you see pinpricks of light. And at first, you're inclined to maybe assign something magical to it as you ready your shield to brace for this object, this creature moving at you so fast. But then you realize that it's a pair of like yellowish eyes that glow in the light. And before long, there's some sort of strange creature that has multiple limbs with a set of tentacles that kind of peel off from its form, and a very distinctly feline look to it, which is trying to rip your face off. Another one closes the distance with Illyria, and
I'm sorry, I'll clarify. It's 10-10, not 15-15.
Okay. And it makes a couple of attacks. So we'll start with yours.
So it's just two creatures that we see?
Yes.
Who is yours?
Is it cool? Does a 25 or a 10 hit?
25 will hit, the 10 will miss.
Okay.
Can I take reactions during a surprise round, Leloution?
Sure. I'm fine with that.
The first attack against Illyria is going to be a 5.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. think you just saved my life.
Well, we'll see if the second attack like destroys her with a crit.
Unfortunately, I can only do one of them, so I
Yeah.
can't make both the attacks slow.
So cool, you take 10 damage as this thing lunges towards
What
you.
what type of damage is it?
Just regular physical.
Okay, that's 7.
And let's see here. You find that it's incredibly difficult to evade this creature's attacks because when it lunges at you and swings, you hold up your shield and you hear and feel the sound of one of the tentacles smash against the shield. But then when you look over, you see what looks like another one that's beside you, and it lunges forward and it catches you off guard and hits you. And that's where you take the damage from. And when you turn to face it, it then disappears from existence, and you see the one next to you again on the other side.
Wow.
Illyria, there's an attack on you, and actually 2 attacks. Does a 15 or a 14 hit?
Both numbers hit. My AC's 13.
Both?
Yeah.
The first one hits you for 8.
Wait, did you...
Oh, shit.
One of them should be a 5, right?
Sorry, so one of them's an automatic miss, so you take 8 damage.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And Trent, you are up.
Can I shout something during Trent's turn?
Sure.
We need light. There's more in the darkness. They're attacking us. Since I don't know the mechanic that's happening with this thing, right? Because I assume there's another one back here. It faded away. So I'm shouting for light from my party member. It's your turn, Trent.
Okay. I have a question about wording, Illusion.
Sure.
So, I summon, with Melf's meteors, I summon like 6 little meteors that I can throw out. First of all, it doesn't mention anything about what the meteors look like. Do you think they would give off any light, or it doesn't specify that it does?
I'd say probably within like 5 feet.
Okay. And second, it says when I cast the spell, I can choose to send 1 or 2 of them out. Can I like summon them and see what's around me first, and then send them out, or do I have to?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Do I have to specify like while I'm casting it where I would? Okay.
No, that's okay.
So I will use Melf's meteors to summon up 6 of these little meteors around me.
Okay.
And then if I don't see any immediately next to me, I'll send 2 landing like at the back of this creature over here.
Sure. Does it have to make a saving throw?
Yeah, it makes 2 dexterity saves, 1 for each meteor I throw.
Okay. What's the save?
It's 8 plus proficiency plus int, so 15.
Okay, they both hit. So go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, Jimmy, big roll. D6 Whisper.
That's decent.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
16 fire damage.
Okay. The creature turns in your direction as the 2 blasts goes off. It sort of recoils there for a moment, and you can smell like singed fur, and it makes a sort of like a feline growl in your direction. And you notice something for a moment there. It looks like the creature's body kind of like phases almost out of existence, and for a moment you have to blink because you think that you see 2 of them there, and then it's just back to the 1, and it's looking in your direction. You've clearly got its attention.
Okay, seeing that I have its attention, I'm going to use my movement to hobble along this tree here.
Okay.
I'll probably sit here.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yes, I don't have any bonus actions.
You are up, Illyria. What do you want to do?
Oh, sorry, I was eating.
Things in your face, by the way. Good luck.
I think I have a spell for that.
When the party has one front man.
Oh.
No. Zenkus is a front.
Because the other one is hard as fuck.
Oh, I know what to do.
Get it? 'Cause he's a
I can
statue?
see Zakul being like lit up, right?
You can see Zakul, yeah. His weapon is glowing.
I'm going to cast haste on him.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You have been haste-eronied, Zakul.
You've been given the crack.
Yeah. The power
Oh,
of
yeah.
1,000 bath salts runs through your veins.
Oh my fucking god. And I guess that was my action, so I'm just going to cry
Okay.
and take my turn.
Alright. Zakul, it's your turn.
Okay, so what's haste give me exactly? Just another attack, or do I
Plus
get
2
like...
AC, double your speed, and another attack. But if I drop concentration, you're
I
stunned
skip a
for a
turn.
round.
You go into a coma.
Okay. With the crack
You
that I've
suffer
been
from
given.
withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
Suffer. That's terrible. Oh, and
Well-
advantage on deck saves.
I will start swinging away at the night monster in front of me.
Okay.
First attack. That is a 22 to hit.
22 to hit. That hits.
I'm going to Divine Smite.
Oh, shit.
Pumping the deeps. Oh man. Oh man.
That is 27 then.
Oh my god.
Then I'll make my second attack.
Okay. You have
Feel the
disadvantage
crack.
on this attack.
Feel the crack. Oh, never mind.
That is a 18 to hit.
18? You still hit. Roll damage.
I'll Divine
Feel
Smite
the
this again.
crack. Feel the crack.
That is 17 then.
17. Okay.
And then I'll make a third.
Oh my god.
Oh, feel the
Disadvantage again,
crack.
right? Oh no, this is a 13.
A 13? You hit.
Feel the
I'll
crack.
Divine Smite for the third time.
Just like repeated bashes with radiant
Oh my
light.
god.
That is 26 damage.
Okay. On your third swing down, you strike the top of the creature's skull, and its large feline head crumples inwards. And the whole thing seems to lose like a magical sheen to it, like you're watching a sort of like second skin on it almost like disappear, or some sort of magical aura fade away. It is dead.
Woo!
I want to 1, 2. How much movement speed does this? haste
Double.
give me?
Doubles your move speed.
You can run around it 2 or 3 times.
I run all the way around it. And
Feel
come
the
next to
crack.
Larry. Now I have my turn there.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That was a great turn.
Some creepy girl in a tree is like, feel the crack.
Somebody in a treehouse is hearing this outside, like, oh, honey, you hear that noise outside? Like, what is it, Doris? There's somebody shouting about feeling the crack. It's like, it's 2 a.m., woman. Zencast, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
I'm quickly gonna tell them about the tree with a light and a bunch of fireflies circling it.
Oh,
Okay.
your invisibility faded when I used the meteors, by the way.
Okay.
Can you telepathically talk to all 3 of us? Or are you just saying this out loud?
No, I
I
get
can
one.
I can say it between each one, but it can only be one at a time.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, are you shouting this, or are you saying this privately to one?
I'll say it to Trent in his head.
Okay. Trent, you hear Zakul there, and also notice him run up next to you.
You mean Zenkas.
Zencast, my bad.
2 Z names, that's very good.
Twice.
The
little-
could have also ran up
it's
to him
little.
by then and ran back.
Yes. Zakul could have come over here if he wanted to. He just I'll nod towards the darkness. I guess maybe he's in light now since Zimbul's over there.
Okay.
I'll nod at him and be like, we gotta deal with this first.
Can I go here, or like just underneath the tree to go and attack, or no?
That's the trunk, so no.
Kick off the trunk, jump over Illyria, jump on its back.
He's not Robertino.
Oh, damn.
I can't even make it around there.
It's okay. He's focused on me. You guys are making like a wall here.
I'll
Wall
Sacred
of
Flame him.
Okay. Let's see.
Ball of light drops from the heavens on top of this thing.
Roll damage.
It's 2d8 now, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it dependent on cleric level for that? Because he is hit and rogue, right?
No, it's character level for cantrips.
Cantrips are character. So 5 damage.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm playing like 3 different games of D&D, and I have cantrips in all of them.
Is that your turn?
Yes, it is.
Illyria, are you below half HP?
Nope.
Okay.
Not as squishy as that old bitch.
You do have her book, though.
This thing disengages from you guys and runs off to about here. And as it does, in front of it, you hear a loud whip crack sound and watch as a portal tears into space in front of it, and it leaps through the thing and vanishes into the night. You guys
Are
are
they
no
fucking
longer in combat.
teleporting?
Is it a displacer beast?
Huh?
I don't
Sound-
think he's gonna tell you that.
Plane shifting crocodiligator.
It's a crocodiligator. Again.
It's
Can I roll Arcana to see if I know what that thing was?
It's
Can
a
you go?
plesiosaurus of the Mesozoic era.
I rush over towards
Did you see
Merton.
that meme I posted about dinosaurs, Lush?
God, I don't
Shit
know.
poster. It says, the chick's asking the guy, what's your zodiac sign? He says dinosaur. And she says, that one doesn't exist. And then he looks at her and he says, none of them exist.
I rush over towards Merton's statue, making sure that it's not damaged.
I'm okay.
Everyone okay?
Can I make a check, Revolution?
Sure.
Or is there no chance that I would know what this
Yep,
is?
you can make an Arcana check.
Oh, Jimmy,
Nature
he's
would be
learned-
better if you had it, but
Oh,
Oh, I was asked if I could roll Arcana.
yeah, you can.
You said nature?
Nature is the best if you have it.
Go, Lyria.
Tell me what you are. Nope.
I thought
that's
you
a
were also
13.
gonna nat one. Really, no.
It's a 13.
Yeah, you guys would know that these are magical beasts, but you're not actually certain what they are.
Wait, is the dead one's body still there?
Oh.
I request a limb!
I would say that the dead one's body is definitely there.
Ooh, let me observe him. And request a limb!
Holding the hammer over it so they can see it clearly, but I'm more closely examining Merton. Make sure he's fine. No
I'll
chip.
hop over here and suggest, hey guys, Zenkus told me that there's a treehouse over there. We should probably go check it out.
But how can
It's
we
not too
trust
far away if you want to leave Merton here for now.
Yeah, I don't really feel comfortable just leaving Burton in the woods.
Well, definitely would
Maybe
not.
we can post him outside the treehouse like a statue.
Well,
Ah.
you know who lives in the treehouse. They
No,
may be
but we need
hostile.
somewhere to sleep, and I have a few minutes left with these meteors, so I think we should probably make our way over before they run out.
I think that's a bit threatening to knock on the door with magical fire floating behind you. But nonetheless, I lift Merton here. And I'm like, well, let's go then.
Well, I mean, they probably, if it is a friendly, they'd probably hurt us fighting these things. You can always show them the body if it's, someone to be trusted. I'll
Now-
start wading through the shit. And
Illyria-
my crutches.
As you
Maybe
bend
that's a
down to take something from this creature, are you going for one of the tentacles or one of its arms?
Ooh, one of each.
Okay.
I need
One.
The arms will be quite heavy, and so will the tentacles, just to let you know. It is a large
Oh.
creature.
Nope.
Can you carry
Oh, like a
another,
sliver
like 10
of a
pounds?
tentacle. I want the tip of the tentacle.
Okay.
No, I can't.
So you look at the thing and you go about taking a trophy and eventually settle on the sort of like barbed ends of the strange tentacles that this creature uses to try and whip you guys to death. And you manage to cut one of them off here. I'd like you to make an investigation check, please.
Surely.
As I see Illyria doing this, I said, be careful, we need to move quickly. There are more of these out there.
Ooh, it's an
Saw
18.
another.
Ah. You see something peculiar on the creature. You cut the thing off there and you're about to turn away when you see what looks like a disturbance in its fur. And on one of the creature's arms here, you notice something strange. It's a patch where the fur has been altered. And looking at it, you realize it's a tattoo. Like somebody has taken a hot brand and kind of like seared an image or something into it.
I'm gonna cut it off to have, so don't forget the image.
You're gonna skin the tattoo part off.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you guys go to turn and leave here, and Illyria is like busy at the body with her like knife in hand.
Zenkas, watch over her, or go with Trent.
Almost done.
I can stay with her for now. Kind of looking as Trent starts walking off, and Illyria sitting here cutting. I let Zenkas decide. All right, he's going with Trent.
I'm going with Trent since I've walked there, so I'm gonna tell him.
Sure. I'll stay here with Illyria while she's working on.
Okay.
So I don't feel like moving the statue just yet.
You guys wander off, and meanwhile, back at the creature's body here, Illyria, you do manage to cut this thing off and sort of skin it. And when you do, the dead corpse violently twitches for a moment.
Whoa! Did it stop?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, look! I'm gonna show it to Zenka.
Illyria holds up
Not
some
Zenka,
sort
it's
of
a cool. Damn it.
some sort of piece of flesh that she's carved off here. It has tufts of like a black feline fur on it here and there. And underneath that, you notice something. It looks like a scribbling, like a set of symbols or writing of some kind, though in this garbage light and everything, it's tough to see what it is that we're looking at.
As I hold the hammer closer, I'm like, what is that?
I know, it's like a
Manner of
symbol.
Magic.
I took it off the beast and it started twitching.
Illyria,
Would
I'd
that
like you
be
to make an
something-
Arcana roll, please.
Would that
Okay.
be something that allows them to control the beast? Set it after us.
Oh, look at the curved dice.
Ooh, it's a 19! That curved ice helped. 19.
What do you mean
Slightly
curved?
tilted, slightly
It, like, it
tilted
started to
table.
curve. You didn't see
Yeah,
how
Yeah,
it
the
curved?
dice
This
move
way.
like this.
She threw it this way and it rolled this way.
Like a spin on the dice, like a tennis ball.
Oh, weird. Maybe they...
Oh, that was-
I don't know.
that one
I
was
swear
like
they
You've
Even
been
this.
curving
slowly tilting the table. You've been putting a nickel under
No.
one of the
And
legs.
then one day I'll remove all of them, and you'll just... Yeah. So what was the roll for Arcana, sorry?
19.
You actually recognize what it is. This is arcane scribbling. This is the remnants of a spell, likely a ritual or something. And as you're staring at it, you can't quite put your finger on what the spell is, but you're fairly certain that half of what you see there is a binding spell.
Ooh. Some sort of binding spells are cool.
It
That's
means
not
these-
alarming at all.
It means these creatures were set after us. We should get moving.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay. I'm gonna take the skin patch with me.
Here, help me with Merton. Let's
Oh, sure.
follow after them.
I'll go with Martin as well.
Between the
Skin-
two of us, we'll head over to the treehouse now too.
You find that, once again, moving Merton is a difficult task. A full human statue of stone is no easy thing to lug around, and you're definitely not moving as fast as when you had the bull's strength, but having a whole bunch of crack also helps, and you're able to just start dragging
Let's go,
it
let's
along.
go, let's go. Come on, this way, this way.
Quickly! Now
Um,
there's 27 on athletics, by the way.
okay. Now, you guys are a little bit further up, and you turn around the corner there. Trent, you're watching the light as it sort of disappears and reappears, and then finally, going around the corner of some set of darkened foliage, you see the thing, a massive treehouse of some kind. The tree itself must be something like 30 feet all the way around if you were to go in a circle around the thing. And it rises up notably higher than the other swamp trees. There's a single lamppost outside, which has a sort of strange quality to it. It looks like it's almost made from like a waxen paper, perhaps, or something else, but it's definitely not a glass lantern. And the light that it casts is a sort of yellowish green, something odd and unnatural, though it does seem to carry quite the similarity to this sort of hue that the fireflies, which are clustered around here, give off. What do you want to do? Eventually, Illyria comes up behind you, and so does Zakul as they carry Merton along.
Jesus, you're so
Hi.
fast.
Look, where's the flap, the skin flap in front of him? It's a binding spell on the creature.
Illyria pulls out just a slab of meat.
Why didn't
Well-
you just have the book copy it? That's gonna smell.
Well, when we have some time, we can copy the symbol down. Let's head up the door. Head up the door.
Okay. I'm gonna hold on to my skin flap.
My head's like shaking right now, like.
The crack is wearing off.
Uh-oh.
We must go.
You guys get up in front of this large treehouse here, standing next to the lantern. You see that it looks kind of... It's almost like insect-like, in a weird way.
Yeah.
And the different bugs floating around here momentarily move towards you and kind of cluster around you guys, and then sort of some movement that one of you guys makes sets them off, and they turn and move in the opposite direction and go back to hovering listlessly around the tree. As you guys approach this thing, the steps proceed upwards in a very sort of gentle incline up towards a singular door.
I'm gonna set the statue down at the base, kind of wait there as I go into my little post-haste coma
yeah.
there, as the rest of the party goes in.
I'll knock on the door.
What door is it cool?
You knock on the door, getting a couple of taps in, but as you go for the third rap, you miss because the... I totally fucked that up. You tap on the door a couple of times, and there's no response. You don't hear anything from the other side. And you do notice something, though, which is that the door in front of you has like a little porthole, almost. Like there's a little... a tiny opening window, which is maybe like 8-10 inches across, and you can't really see very well into the room, but you can detect a bit of light that comes through its sort of like semi-opaque panes.
Can I, are we in good light here with that torch, or with the lantern thing, or are we still pretty shady?
No, you're
If
pretty
someone
well
was-
lit here, given that there's the lantern behind you. Zakul's weapon is still glowing, and the...
That would have went off.
That's off? Okay. And all the fireflies around you give like a dim light.
Okay. Please, we need help.
You call out, and there's no response. Perhaps the house is empty.
I'll try the door. Is there a handle?
You reach for the handle. It's not the kind that turns or anything at first. You think that maybe there's some other mechanism here. You go to push on the door, and it doesn't open. And that's when you see what looks like a little latch that's actually kind of placed on the outside of the door. Do you want to flip it and go inside?
I'll call out again. I'll say, we really mean anyone here no harm. We're gonna come in because it's dark and scary out here, and we really need help.
Wait, is the latch locked? Or you can just flip it open?
There's no lock on it. It's just
Okay.
curiously on the outside of the door.
Trent, this might be a place to lock people in.
I shout out, perhaps there's a prisoner inside we can free. Is there anything on the door that may blow up on you? You try it. or free whoever's inside.
How long has it been since combat? Has it been a few minutes?
You guys are still pretty fresh here. It's maybe like a minute afterwards.
Okay.
You know, you're still covered in sweat and everything, and kind of panting and everything from the previous combat.
Worst case scenario, I'll find another way out, but I think this is our best bet for now, and I'll throw the latch open.
Okay. You undo the latch. It's an easy thing, just a couple pieces of wood arranged to keep the door closed. After that, the door goes somewhat slack, and you can feel that you could easily nudge it open with no real need for the handle.
I'll, push the door open with the... does it pull or push?
It pushes inwards.
I'll push it in with one of the crutches that I have here.
Sure.
And take a couple hesitant steps towards the doorway after nothing happens.
You crack open the door and begin to step in. As you do, the sound of wooden creaking can be heard. And when you put a foot down on the other side, you feel a softness underneath it. The light from the interior of the room comes from what looks to be a distant candle across on the other side of a somewhat nice little dwelling here. There's like a little carpet here right at the door, which has been laid down. You can also see what looks like a table over in the corner with 2 chairs at it, a little bed. There's a nightstand that has the candle at it, that kind of thing. There's even a rear window, which must face to some unknown something on the other side of the tree, which you guys have yet to investigate. The only other thing here is a somewhat spiraling staircase that goes up along the wall and goes into some unknown area up above. The other thing that you notice is that the room that you stepped into looks like lived in. You guys have been experienced adventurers for the past little while, and have been in a crypt here and there, and you're familiar with a couple of different environments. The room that you've just walked into doesn't look like deserted. You don't see that kind of layer of dust that foretells a space that nobody's been in for a long period. Somebody's been here and done stuff.
Can I rip a page out of my spell book?
Sure.
And from the back, and I'll write a little note and say, travelers visiting, don't be alarmed, we mean you no harm. Place was unlocked. If you come inside, just be wary, there's 5 of us here.
Okay.
We haven't said a word since we've come in, right?
Not yet.
Okay, so now I'd like to shout out.
So you guys are
If
out
anyone...
here.
Oh, we're not in.
Trent just stepped in and he's looking around.
I'll kind of pin it to the door and then turn around to the group and be like, I don't think this is a prison. It looks almost like somebody's house. Calling towards the stairs this time. Is anybody up there?
You hear something. It's like a pitter-patter on the ground, kind of like a child's footsteps.
We mean you no harm. We're travelers. We need help. If you can provide any, we'll leave if you want us to. We're just looking for a place to spend the night. Perhaps some help finding out where we are.
Curiously enough, you see something. It appears at the top of the steps where the little portal leads to the next floor. And it's like a little nub of some kind. A little furry nub comes down from up there. And you realize it's the paw of a cat. And what looks like a little house cat makes its way down the first couple of steps there and hangs at the top of the stairwell and stares at you. It looks to be kind of curious that you're there for a brief moment, just kind of looking at you. It freezes in place, and it has a sort of patterning on it, like a gray and black stripy pattern.
I love this session already. I love cats.
Can I sort of hop over towards it and try and hold a hand out towards it, peacefully?
Make an animal handling check, please.
I will dispel my meteors at this point.
Sure.
I'll nudge Zenkis and Illyria forward cats. Kind of whisper
Nope.
to him like, look over Trent, please.
Well, that's probably not going to get the job done.
Well, if the cat scratches his face,
What's your
Animal
AC?
handling,
JK.
11, but I have shield.
The thing up at the top of the steps here sees you approach. When you step off of the little mat by the doorway, the sound of your muddy boots lands on the wood there, and the cat seems to almost kind of like step backward for a second. It arches its back, and you see like its tail stands up here, pointed up towards the sky, and it sort of like stares at you for a second, and then turns around and darts rather rapidly back up the steps and disappears. You can hear it
That
like
was
running
a
somewhere
minor
up
illusion,
there.
a laser pointer, damn it.
Maybe somebody without crutches should talk to it. Let's get Merton inside, and I'll like clear the doorway so that they can walk in.
Okay,
Where's that table with chairs? Is that
this guy
over
right here. Yeah.
I'll hobble over and sit down in one of the chairs. I'm probably like exhausted at this point, being up so long.
Yeah.
And like traveling with Merton and stuff.
I'll walk in as well and setting Merton down near the doorway, but
Okay.
I won't close the door behind me. I'll have like 1 foot in the door jam
I want to look around.
so I kind of rest. I don't want the door to be closed.
Okay.
My shoulders hurt so bad from crunching for so long.
Is anyone
Imagine it's a
upstairs?
cool
I call.
shoulders.
Yeah, I have just like sweat dripping down everywhere right now. Just panting, carrying a giant piece of rock through the swamp.
While wearing full adamantine armor.
And coming down from the high,
Yeah.
I just experienced.
Feel the crack.
Methamphetamines just run through my body.
The material components for for haste are just methamphetamines and a flame.
I call out, is anyone upstairs?
There's no response.
We're sorry for the intrusion. Like my friend said, we just need a little bit of shelter.
If there is anybody up there, they don't seem to object, as there's no call back down the steps.
Guys, if we take a rest in here, I suggest we still keep watch.
Of course. I don't feel safe closing this door considering what was on the outside. It may be magical and lock us in here. Do we want to just
whoever
rest like
watches
this?
can just hold the door open. I'm starting to drift off in the chair here.
I'll take first.
Somebody want to go check upstairs before we call it?
Yeah.
I don't think we should intrude on them. If they're sleeping, then we should wait until
Trent,
morning.
I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Just pass out.
Ooh.
Damn it, Jimmy.
I was actually going to say, if this is to avoid falling asleep, I'll use my Burton roll of a 3, but I rolled a 3 anyway. Con save, that is a 5, friend.
Trent, your profession bonus as a wizarding college student sends you into a sleep as you sit down here at the little table and pass out.
I just like slouch over like a student who's been reading for too long.
Yeah.
My spell book is probably still in my hand. It probably
Yeah.
looks pretty appropriate.
Clonk
I
right
sit-
out.
I
Just
plop
like
down
start
onto
drooling
the.
into the spell book.
I plop down in this door jam here, letting my armor keep my back like partially upright as I start dozing off. Illyria, remember, try to be friendly.
Yup. Love cats.
I'm upstairs. There.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I just pass out here as well.
I,
Okay.
oh. I guess I'll just pick someone for second watch. Okay, thanks. Great talk. Okay.
And even in my sleep, I go like, say yes, over there. Say
Guess.
yes.
I'm probably gonna stay here so I can see in the corner of my eye the front door, but also see the full room.
Okay.
Especially this
I have my foot like in the door jam, by the way. So if you like slam it on me, it could probably hurt me. But, yeah.
A little bit of time goes by, and you guys lay down for a long rest. Now, who is second watch after Illyria?
Zenkas. He was voting.
Zencast, are you
Yes.
second watch?
I guess.
Well, you have to.
Whoever Illyria wakes up will be second watch.
It will be
Illyria, who do you
Zencass.
wake up before you go to
I
bed?
wake up Zencass.
Zencass, you awake to Illyria nudging you here. Everybody
I'm
else is
tired.
passed out.
I get up.
Thanks. Asleep I go.
Okay. A little while goes by. What are you doing in the room here, Zencass?
I'm just kind of looking around at the room.
Sure.
Like, does it look like since we're on the ground floor of the tree, does it look like anything goes underneath, or is it just stairs going up?
Sure, you can make an investigation check.
With disadvantage!
Wait, are there stairs here that are going up?
Yeah, they curve along the wall, so they kind of start here and then go, like, upwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's at the base of the stairs now.
Do-do-do-do.
Have faith.
It's not bad. Bubber ducky, bubber ducky,
No,
bubber duck.
14.
14? Okay. You search around the house here, and, you know, you guys are, like, considerably up in the tree, but you don't find anything that goes downwards. Perhaps there's no basement here.
Alright. No, I'll just keep looking here. That was my only big concern.
Okay.
Sorry about the birds, they don't shut up.
You settle into your spot here and kind of look around. And while you're there, I'd like a luck check, please, from our resident Luckarino.
I wish the cat came to visit me during
One
my
lucky boy.
watch. Oh, you're going backwards.
Okay, he's due for that 20 soon.
You're an hour into your watch, Zencass, when you hear something moving upstairs, a pitter-pattering that fumbles about.
One sec.
Whoop!
Bird's like gotten out of his cage. The
Yeah.
rubber ducky song, man.
No, the
Bubber
one's
ducky, bubber ducky, bubber duck.
no one's looking at me, and every time I start to talk, it starts to make sounds.
It just wants to chat with you.
Okay, so my silent speech, I can speak telepathy, to any one creature within 30 feet of me. It only understands me if we share a language.
Mhm.
Does the pitter patter sound like the cat again, or does it sound like something else?
Yeah, it sounds like there's a cat moving around upstairs. Some small creature is rumbling about up there. Play as Bubba Ducky.
There's
Maybe it's a shapeshifter. It's the professor from Harry Potter.
I'm not gonna go up there. I'm just gonna watch the stairs a little bit more though.
Okay. So you hang out down here and stare over at the steps. And while you're watching the steps, there is a moment where the cat comes down. Maybe about 3 or 4 minutes later, after hearing the kind of wanderings and stuff up there, you do see the cat step onto the first few steps, and it stares over at your group. Now, most of you asleep, it looks around and then eyes you as you're seated there, the only one that's still awake.
I just want to say into its head, hello.
The thing looks at you and then turns around and goes back upstairs.
Alright.
The little bitch understood you, just being rude.
Who is third watch?
Either Trent or myself, I assume.
Who do you wake up when you're next to your Zencass?
1 to 10 it's Zakul, 11 to 20 it's Trent.
11.
Okay, I'm awake.
Okay. So cool, you're laying there by the door, one leg through the thing, the rest of you passed out blissfully on the ground, when Zencast comes and nudges you. It's time for your watch.
I tell him the cat came down and then went back up when I said hello to it.
Sure, I'm no more friendly than what you or Trent are. You disarmed the cat, so hopefully it's just a cat. I say sitting up. Get some rest then, said cat. And I start looking around, but I'm sitting up at the doorway, just peeking in this direction, and then occasionally I'll open the door all the way and look outside.
Now, there's an interesting predicament here, as you're a little uneasy about the door, given that the latch is on the outside. The thing is kind of angled so that it's one of those doors that closes if you're not, forcing it to stay open. Are you going to put something in it, or just kind of walk away from it and let it close?
No, I'm keeping my foot there. That's why I'm swinging it open now, so I can look outside. But I'm standing in the doorway.
All right. You hang out there by the doorway, and it's only 20 minutes later, with Zencast falling asleep, that you then see what it is that he's talking about. There's a pitter-patter upstairs, and then the cat appears on the top steps and stares over in your direction.
I turn towards the cat. Nice kitty.
Make an animal handling check, please.
Trying to disarm it with my dragon-like.
No,
that's a nat one.
Being a full metal giant lizard man doesn't seem to suit you well for this, and the cat turns around and goes back upstairs rather rapidly.
All figures, I said.
You hear the thing kind of run up there, and it must have knocked over something, because you hear an object hit the ground afterwards.
I pause and I try to listen for any other noises up there other than what the pitter patter of the cat would be. See if there's anyone.
You hear a bunch of small wooden objects rolling on the floor, and then they stop.
Hopefully it wasn't expensive.
Okay.
I'll just keep watch for the time being.
You wait, and you wait, and you wait. And eventually, the thing goes silent, and your watch goes by. The day is going to be yours once again soon. You go to wake up Trent, I assume? I didn't hear you.
I'm gonna throw something at him. A cup from my my mess kit here.
Okay, sure.
I attempt to wake him up.
Trent, you wake to a small metallic cup hitting you in the side of the head.
Fuck. I feel like I'm back at a bar. Wait, why would I be in a bar?
Trent, it's your watch. There's a cat that keeps looking at us. I'm not whispering at this point, but not shouting either.
Okay.
Yeah, that cat. Okay. Thanks, man.
I'm keeping
you know what time it is? Is it morning yet?
It's a couple hours till dusk, I believe. Right, Illusion?
Mm-hmm. The sun will hopefully be coming up in an hour or two here.
I'll keep the door open while I rest. Just try not to fall asleep. Maybe get out of the comfy chair for now. I'm gonna sit back and kind of put my back over here against the door jamb.
Sure.
My one leg out again.
Trent, what are you doing on your watch? You just gonna look around? Focus on
making
making
sure. I'll get up out of
sure?
my chair here.
Okay.
And doing my best to maneuver quietly, though, it's crutches on a wooden floor. I'll probably go to the center of the room here first for a little bit. Is it brighter now that it's close to dawn, or is it still pretty dark in here?
No, it's still dark.
Okay, I will cast Control Flame, or whatever that's Conjure Flame that I have, the cantrip.
Okay.
And sort of use it as a handheld torch as I walk around the room here. Just sort of examining, now that it's, now that I have light and I'm not quite as tired, I want to try and figure out how long it's been since somebody was here, because you said it doesn't look abandoned.
Yeah, you can make an investigation check.
That is plus 7, so 18.
Looking around, you investigate this little table, what's left of the candle, the little chairs and whatnot, and you find that the only thing that really has a good amount of dust on it is some knickknacks on a little counter, like a little shelving type thing. The rest of it is just kind of, I don't know, it looks like something you would see in somebody's living room, and you can't put a definite date on it, but you're fairly certain that somebody has been in here and using the place at least within the last couple of days.
Zakul's leg looks like it's got the door well propped open, right?
Yeah, it's covered in plate mail, so I mean...
I'm gonna go up the stairs.
Sure. You travel up the steps, and on your way up there, you eventually hear something. You're only halfway up the steps when you hear like a small little pitter-patter. And a moment later, you make only 2 more steps before you see the cat there, blocking your way to the next area. It stands at the top steps and looks at you.
Can I pull out like a ration and see if I have like any dried meat or anything that I could like break a small piece off?
Sure. You reach into your backpack and get a small bit of dried meat there. And are you holding it out for the cat?
I'll like kind of toss it, not at the cat, like I'm not throwing it at the cat, but I'll like toss it towards it, try and get it like on the landing near where it is or something.
Sure. The cat sees the thing and moves over towards it. There's maybe about 10 feet between the two of you, and it kind of like nudges forward and sniffs at the thing. And then after that, it sort of looks around the room, almost like it's alert to something. And then after looking around the room, it starts to move in your direction.
I'll again drop control or produce flame and hold my hand out towards it, like so that it could sniff me if it wants to.
Sure. The thing moves past you. At one point, its side runs along your leg, and then just goes down the steps.
I'll pause where I am and see what he does when he gets down there.
Sure.
If I see him going towards the door, I'll act. But if I don't see him going over to the door,
the thing comes down to the bottom of the steps, and then sniffs about at your companions. It starts with Zenkas, who's at the very bottom there, and then it moves on towards Merton, even putting like a palm on his completely wooden leg there, and then moves over towards Zakul. And then after that, having sniffed Zakul, it looks like it's about to move for Illyria, and then it pauses in place. And you see it kind of like raises up its head and sort of looks left and right throughout the room. You don't have to be an animal expert to see that this cat's like very curious, like something's alerted it. You even see like its ears twitch.
in my head it's looking for its like owner and not finding it. I'm just gonna keep watching it. If it makes any like aggressive movements towards the door, I'll call out because I don't want to like let somebody's pet run away or anything.
Sure.
But
your suspicions are confirmed when the cat at some point leans up onto Zakul's leg. He's passed out. Given the combat and the crack coma, he's completely out like a light. And it steps up onto his leg and then reaches forward. And at some point, its paw passes the threshold of the door. And then it kind of like looks around and then just scurries down the steps. And you hear the thing running off.
as it's like reaching towards the door, can I act, or is it too late?
Sure.
Now?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
When I see it like reaching towards the door, I'll just be like, "Zakul!" And see
I'll
if,
wake with a hurry and I look around.
You wake up, and the moment that you do, you twitch for a second as you're brought back into the stream of consciousness and everything, and you hear what sounds like a cat hiss for a moment there, and feel like there was something on your leg.
Can I reach out and try to grab it as I'm waking up?
Oh.
Like in like surprise almost.
Yeah, make a dexterity check. Just straight dex.
Hold on, do I get the do I get anything for this? From the ring or actually Haste is already gone, so
No crack.
Oh.
Pretty bad. That's just a 3.
You see the thing. There it is, the cat, the little black stripedy thing that was on your leg, and it leaps off for the first couple of steps. You reach for the thing, but, it's already awake and primed, a creature of the night, much faster than you as you're coming out of your sleep. It lands on the steps and sees you there, a metallic crumpling that wants to seize at it. It looks at you for just a second and then kind of goes running down the steps.
I'll hop down the steps as fast as I can, pulling out some more meat. Did it eat the piece that I tossed towards it?
No, but it did sniff at it.
Okay.
Let's try. Did we just allow the house pet to leave?
I don't know. You can go back to sleep. I'll handle this. Sorry for waking you, and then I'll...
I'm already awake as I sit up now, and I look toward Trent. It will come back if this is his home. Animals tend to find their home again as I see him running off.
I won't go far.
Okay. Be safe. I'll stay up here, though.
When I get to the bottom of the stairs, do I see, any tracks or anything? I mean, it's muddy ground, right? Do I see,
Yeah, the area around this tree is, immediately not completely muddy. You know that it should become really swampy, maybe 10-20 feet away. You do see what looks like little pitter-patters, though, there in the ground.
I'll start following it, maybe to 30 feet away from the house or so.
Sure. You go looking after the thing, and I'd like you to make a perception check, and given how dark it is out here, you can roll at disadvantage.
Can I, if it's getting dark, can I pull out my produce flame?
Sure. Yeah, you can roll normally then.
Just have that as the torch.
Oh.
Oh. That's 22.
Okay. You see the cat. It's not down at the bottom of the steps, but a little bit a ways away. Following the tracks, you find it on the other side of the tree, and it's there with something in its mouth. When it turns to face you, you see what looks like a small squirrel or some little rodent-like thing that hangs from its jaws.
I'll smile, seeing it like that, and then I'll be like, here, come on. And
the thing turns and practically trots away from you, with its catch still in its mouth.
I'm curious at this point. I'll follow it a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to get too far away from here. Maybe I'll go out to 40 or 50 feet away from the treehouse, following the cat. Not I'm not rushing after it aggressively or anything. Just kind of curiously following it, seeing where it's going.
Sure. The thing goes to another little spot around a bit of the tree here. It's like a set of 2 large roots, and it kind of nestles in there and starts to eat at whatever it's got there. When you approach and kind of get closer towards it, it seems to take note of you and stares at you like you've interrupted it.
I'll, when it looks at me, I'll take a small step backwards and then sit down as well and take out that same ration from before and start eating it, just kind of watching the cat while I eat.
Okay.
After a few bites, does he start eating his catch as well, or is he just watching me?
He stares as you approach and just continues to kind of look at you, and it doesn't start to eat while you're there.
I'll, eat a few bites, maybe get a portion of the way into the ration, and then if it's still staring at me like I'm bothering it, I'll kind of stand up and back away a little bit more.
Sure.
I'd like to keep it within eyesight, but I'll sort of give it, a good 30, 40 feet of space as I back away from it.
Okay. As you back away from the thing, it begins to eat and starts to pull at little bits of fur, getting at the red, juicy insides of whatever this thing is. And periodically, it'll turn its head and faces towards you and looks at you, and then kind of goes back to eating and then repeats. Now, while this is happening, eventually the sun comes up, and you guys all wake and get a long rest.
As everybody wakes up around, Trent went out into the darkness to chase after that cat.
Oh god, okay. I'm gonna follow him out the door.
Zancast, get up. You two need to go find Trent. I don't know which way he went.
So, Illyria, you head out, and Trent, you're over there, still kind of staring at the cat. You get to see the sunrise and everything, and you can hear your friends waking up.
If I see any of them come close or hear them approaching, I'll like hold up a hand like to stop or be quiet.
Illyria, Trent cautions you about going down the steps.
Do I see the cat?
Not from your spot, but Trent is watching something, like around the corner.
I would like to slowly walk up to Trent very quietly.
Okay.
He's eating a catch. I don't know if there was any food upstairs, but he might be hungry.
From where Trent is, Illyria, you can see the cat there. It has some sort of carcass in front of it that it nibbles at on occasion and stares out across the swamp. Periodically, it looks at you and Trent. Zencast, you step outside as well. So cool, what are you up to?
I'm standing at the doorway still with Merton. I'm not carrying him down unless...
Gotcha.
Is he down there then?
Good idea. You trust me?
Just don't scare it off.
I'd like to put a little, use minor illusion and like a laser beam light around, not too close to the cat, but near it to see if it's interested.
Ah. You put down the little light there, and the cat turns and faces it for a second. It licks at its lips and looks at this little dot of light on the ground.
Move it around a little, Illyria.
Oh, okay. I'd like to start moving it around.
The cat is entranced by it. Its head tracks the light effortlessly. At some point, it actually goes to move and stands up on its 4 feet and starts to wander. It perches on top of one of the roots there, and then with a leap, goes for the illusion.
And I'm gonna move it quickly towards, like, slowly towards us, but not where the cat, I guess, leaped.
Okay.
I'd
The
like
cat
to use
misses
its
the
effort
mark.
to lure it.
You can move the illusion at almost instant speed, and the thing is fast, but not that fast. It makes another lunge, going for the illusion again, and you try to lure the thing towards you. This time, however,
insight or something.
The cat does manage to grab a hold of it, and when it does, like all illusions, it just fades from existence there. The cat raises up its palms like it should have something triumphantly trapped underneath them, and there's nothing there, and then it kind of looks around.
One right by the cat? So it looks like it like might have gotten away by chance?
The cat's instantly on it again, and looks over, like it's getting ready to leap. Now, meanwhile, over here, Zakul, you're standing up by the door and watching as your 2 magician friends are playing around with the cat by summoning a little red light on the ground. And
I can actually see them now? I thought I could only see them.
Yeah, the cat's like out here now, because they've lured it out.
If it looks like Illyria has this, I'll go back up into the house.
I'll
just be like, don't let it get away. Try and get it back to the house if you can.
I'm trying.
Zencast, you stay with her too. I think you might be a little bit more disarming to the animal. Trent, I'll go with you upstairs. We need to thank our host for allowing us to rest here. And as
I'll hand him my little obsidian dagger.
Oh, I was gonna put Merton in the door jam, but okay, that might be better. That might be better. Okay.
The world's most expensive and valuable door jam.
I'll put the dagger instead in the door jam itself, but like near the hinge side.
Sure.
Instead of like where it could easily be kicked out over here. So I'll put it like into the hinges and then walk up behind Trent.
You wedge the thing open and you and Trent decide to investigate the next room. Up top, your head eventually peers through, and Trent, you see something interesting. It's a remarkably cozy looking room. It would be completely dark were this the nighttime, but now that the sun is up, drifting through one of the windows here is a sunlit study. There is a little bookcase nearby and a comfortable little cushion-padded chair and a nice little table next to it. And the rest of this room just seems to be devoted to like relaxing in. It's like a little study.
Are there any windows?
Yep,
I mean, I
just
know
the
it's
one
not-
window that lets a bunch of light through. The panes are very, like, they're not perfectly transparent. They're kind of like, murky.
Easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I, I'll hobble over towards the window and see if I can get a view of, like, our surroundings here at least.
You can
'Cause
see
I'm
the vague
sure we're
colors of
pretty
the
high up.
swamp on the outside, but you can't really see details as the panes are not just like gross or old, but they're actually like imperfect glass. Like you actually can't see through them perfectly. Furthermore, there's no hinge. There's nothing for you to move the window. It's just a pane set in that spot.
Okay. I'll, like, look around the room. You said it's like a study?
Yeah, there's
Is
a
there, like,
little
a-
bookshelf.
I'll meander over, like, the bookshelf. If there's a desk, that would be probably more important to me. But if there's
As
no
I look
desk,
around,
then-
there's a bed here, right?
No,
Oh, there's no bed in this.
just
study
on
at all.
the bottom floor.
Oh, there was a. This was a bed.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I had
Nobody
that
used it.
confused then, my bad. I had that confused. That was my bad. I thought that was like another table or something.
Nope.
All that.
Is there a desk here, or is it just the bookshelf?
A very comfortable looking chair. There's a very comfortable looking chair, a small table next to it, and a bookshelf and a window.
I look over towards the chair. How big does it seem? Like, does it look like it's meant for a small person, like a gnome or a halfling, or is it like medium
It's
size?
like a common sized chair for a human.
The table next to the chair. Is there any books on it? Or papers?
The table doesn't seem to have any books on it.
Okay. In that case, then my attention will be devoted to the bookshelf, seeing like what kinds of books there are.
Some of these
Like
tomes
learn.
you don't know, but given your time at Soulsland, having read many volumes, you're actually familiar with a good deal of these. They're not magical tomes or anything like that, they're storybooks. You see some which are like children's tales, others which are like fiction, more popular with adults. You see a couple of classics, that kind of thing. Most of the books are pretty old, though. Some of them are in okay shape, but others are kind of in tatters, like copies that have probably been through a few owners, or maybe a couple spills into the water, that kind of thing.
Do I
I
see?
just remember something from last session. I'm really sorry to cut you off, Jimmy. But we literally ended the book asking who the fuck I am.
Oh yeah, for Tessa's book.
Mhm.
Yeah, the only reason I remember this is because you guys are talking about books.
Oh.
Damn it.
You'll have to fill the book in
Yeah.
on who you are. Then.
We'll have to do that right after this. That's cool.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just seriously just remembered. Sorry.
It's all good.
Among the storybook solution, do I see anything relating to Valu or cities in the woods or druids or?
I'd say no. Some of these could have to do with druids or cities in the woods. Most of them are like fantastical story tales, so some of them would have that.
Okay.
I'm
But
gonna
none
look
of them
around.
are like look like serious books. They're all just storybooks.
Yeah.
As I
this
look
is-
around, what's the thing that fell yesterday? Is there anything apparent that got knocked over?
Next to the little table, you see what looks like a little wooden cup and a collection of pencils.
Like the pencils are inside the cup?
Yeah. But they're scattered on the ground now.
I shrug that. It's like, that's fine. And I look over towards Trent. Well,
Do we see any
know you're looking
food
through
for the
the-
cat?
No.
And we didn't see any downstairs, so that must mean
what are you
maybe.
thinking, Trent?
Well, I'm thinking that if whoever this is obviously takes care of that cat. Looking at the books they have here, and given where we are, I imagine this is probably someone who has moved away from civilization, perhaps to write their own story, given the pencils we see there and the seclusion into nature, with the only companion being a cat.
Some sort of hermit.
Illyria
Yes.
and Zenkas, I'd like perception checks from both of you, please.
Oh, baby.
Are you saying this hermit has not been home then?
Not for a few days.
Mine's a 10.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Disadvantage. Oh,
Hey, that one.
Okay.
yay! Halfling ability.
Oh, roll it again.
Yep. Not bad.
Much
Mathematics.
better.
17.
7? You have a -3?
17.
Ah. There is a wind that blows through here. And Illyria, it kind of feels nice given the circumstances of your last little couple days here to just kind of stand out by a little dwelling and feel like a pleasant breeze go by. All the leaves from the trees rustle. And Zencast, you notice something else. You see that the large tree that you're next to, it sounds like it kind of creaks a little bit, and then you notice that the branches move in a sort of unnatural way, almost like the tree is moving. They go back into place afterwards, but they move much more than what that small breeze could possibly do.
How I say into her, I don't say it out loud, but I say the branches move more than they should have.
Okay.
But I'm gonna guess she's paying attention to the cat more.
I would like to start trying to lure the cat inside.
Okay. The cat seems to follow this little trick that you do, and comes up with you even up towards the steps, getting about halfway. But when you try to bring the light further up towards it, it stops.
I'm out of ideas are cool.
I'm not. I'm on the second floor.
I mean,
trying-
Zenkus, damn it, disease.
Perhaps the game has become tiresome for the cat, but at this point, as you try to lead it upwards, it just turns and then bounds off and kind of scurries back down towards the ground and amuses itself with what looks
Does it
to
run
be
by me?
maybe like an insect down there. No, it goes off like the side of the wall.
Damn, I was gonna try and catch it. Ooh. Do I have a cup? Zenkus, do you have a little cup? Was there a leaf that could be used as a cup?
If you have a mess kit, there's a cup inside of it.
I don't have a mess kit.
Oh yeah, I would have collected that cup that I threw at tried to mention.
Now, what are you guys doing while you're upstairs? You can hear what sounds like, well, wait. Yeah, you can hear Illyria muttering about something outside, and you guys are here looking at all these books. What do you want to do?
I'll pick up the pencils, put them back up onto the desk there in its little cup.
Okay.
And then,
I saw that note you read. You wrote yesterday. Perhaps leave it. Let's be happy that we were hosted here, but I think it's time to get moving.
yeah, I think we should try and get the cat back inside, though, if this person is...
Well, if what you say is true, and the hermit has not been back in a while, the cat may very well survive better out there, rather than starving to death, locked inside of its home.
Well, it's only been a couple of days. I don't think... I mean, there was no dust on anything except for some of the knickknacks. I'm sure whoever it was will be back soon.
I'll allow you
Or
to
perhaps
visit
some of
that
these
day.
strange creatures took them.
As he's talking, I'll come down the stairs, looking around, and get ready to lift Merton again.
Okay. He's a heavy son of a bitch without magical assistance, but you get ready to lug him around.
With a 24, I'll lift him onto my back and get ready to move out.
Okay. You start to shuffle Merton out. As for you, Trent, what are you doing?
I'll head back down to the first floor, and
Okay.
then onto the stairs, and then do I see the cat in the like in the clearing here?
Wait, I want to lure it with pouring water in my hand.
I'll
I
pick
can
up
drink
the
out of it.
obsidian dagger from the door jam, closing the door behind me as we leave.
Okay. You head down the little steps there, Trent, and go to investigate things, and Zakul, you start dragging Merton over, and something peculiar happens. The gust of wind slams against the front end of the tree here, this time with a bit more force, and the tree it feels almost like an earthquake for a second. Like the whole ground tilts backwards a couple inches. The door closes on you, Zakul, and the little obsidian dagger pops out and scatters along the ground. You hear
Am I
the whole...
inside?
Yeah, so you guys are both
Okay.
inside.
Okay.
And you hear the sound of the tree creaking and everything. And then it kind of goes back. And those of you outside see what looks like the whole tree sway in a great wind as its branches kind of waver backwards and then slowly come back to being righted again.
I'm probably like holding to the wall for support because, being on crutches during an earthquake is not a fun experience.
Mm-hmm.
I brace myself and try to protect Merton as best as possible, even taking it so I'll like land on my back to like shield him if I fall.
Okay.
But
Your strength check is pretty good, and you're able to hold on to Merton here. But he does nearly slip from your grip for a second there.
I'll push on the door with Mage Hand.
the hell was that, Trent?
Does it stay shut?
The door opens up.
I don't know. We should get out of here, though.
Pick up your dagger on the way out. Let's close the door.
As I'm like already out here, I'll just Mage Hand over my shoulder, grab the dagger.
Okay.
Am I able to lure the cat with water in my hand? Or like...
No, he doesn't seem to be interested. In fact, ironically, he goes up towards a nearby pool of water and starts pawing at that
Oh,
instead.
you whore.
So we stepped out. This is the same world and everything, right?
I'm
It's
done with
not
the
like
cat.
Oh, yeah.
anything has changed for us. Okay.
As you make your way for the door here, Trent, you pass through the threshold, and Zakul, you head up, and it happens again. This time you get to see it from the other side, Trent. The whole tree seems to tremble for a moment, and the branches move back and forth. Some leaves from nearby swamp trees are pulled up in a wind, and the tree comes pulling backwards. Zakul, your feet slide a couple of inches here, and I need you to make for me a check to see if you drop Merton or not. Can you make for me
Which check is it?
an athletics roll?
Okay. No.
Oh no.
That's a 10.
Okay. Merton's body slips from your grip here. As you slide backwards, you commit to this action of holding on to him, and you slam into the ground, taking the brunt of the force as a stone statue comes colliding onto you. You take, let's see here, a couple damages.
Bludgeoning, right?
Yes.
Oh my god, why did so many die?
You
What
take
was that?
15 damage as a stone version of Will slams onto you, and you land
Jesus.
back in the middle of the room here.
Okay.
You also notice something. There's the sound of a crack, the last thing that you want to hear when you hit the ground. And then looking over, you see what looks like something that's been damaged. And then, to your relief, it's like a piece of his clothing, like a bit of his coat has broken off, and there's like a stone piece of it on the ground.
I said, okay. Somebody quickly help me. We gotta get Merton out of here. This tree is not stable. I'll quickly try to stand up out of prone and get towards the door again.
So
Hey,
Cool's
Zenkus,
calling out
I'm
for
not
help, but as you guys look over towards him, you see something that's a far larger predicament. There's one of the big branches from the tree, which is literally reaching down. It's like a big leafy hand, and it goes for the doorway, like these long fingery tendrils, and it looks like it's about to intercept at the door there.
As it's swinging towards the door, can I reaction just throw a firebolt at it and try and shock it away from the...
Sure, you can make an attack roll.
15.
15. Your hit lands. I mean, it's a huge moving branch, and it's not exactly going terribly fast, but striking it doesn't seem to have any effect, other than lighting a couple leaves on fire, which then pitter out afterwards.
I'll yell, Zenkus, he needs the spell to get out of there.
That's the thing, it's touch.
God. Well,
The thing is reaching down now and is only a foot away from the doorway.
Can I do Dispel Magic on the tree?
Sure, you can cast Dispel Magic.
can I even see it? Is this door open?
No, but you hear like a terrible creaking sound from it. the door has since closed, right? But you hear a terrible creaking from outside and what sounds like some of your companions like panicking about something.
Does it have any effect?
What's going on out there? I shout as she's casting Dispel Magic.
The Dispel Magic effect goes off, and for a brief moment, it looks like the tree stops moving. Its hand freezes there for a second, and then not more than a second later continues moving again.
Oh, no.
Try to push this door open as I make my way out, unknowing about this giant tree branch.
You go to open the door, and you guys watch as the door seems to open a little bit, and as it does, one of the branches has finally gotten to the door and presses against it from the other side there. And Zakul, because the door opens inwards here, you're able to tear the thing in your direction, and you see like a massive branch there, and the branch is animate. It moves towards you and like reaches in your direction.
And while I'm carrying him on my back, are my arms free, or this is like I'm completely restrained?
I picture you kind of doing like a hold where your arms are on either side of you, holding onto like his limbs, and so like you reach forward momentarily for the handle.
Yeah, then I'll step back and try to set Merton down because this thing's obviously attacking me, and I don't want to. And if it does get a hit on me while I'm drawing my weapon, that's fine with me.
It doesn't seem to attack you, but it like paws out in your direction there, and you step back away from the doorway, and the thing recedes.
I set Merton down and I pull out my warhammer. What manner of creature is this?
The branch backs away when he backs away from the door?
Yeah. After that, though, something interesting happens. You guys are all there, some of you on the steps, some of you on the ground, watching the spectacle. The cat nearby at a little pond is watching intently as well. The branch hand has now, at this point, eclipsed the doorway. If somebody wanted to rush through, they might be able to make it. It's not, like, completely blocked, but it would be difficult. And from your point of view, Zakul, you see one of the branches reaches over, grabs a hold of the handle, and then just starts to close the door on you.
Is that why the cat's stuck in the house? There always needs to be someone in there?
I want to step forward and try to smash that branch.
Make an attack roll.
I don't have sacred weapon on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna... Ooh!
Roll damage.
28.
Do you want to add a smite to that?
I'm definitely adding a smite to that.
Do the smiting.
I need a copy. 2 of these.
2 of those?
Yeah, 2 of them. No, okay, it's...
The Dice Lord strikes again.
Got him!
Oh my god. Poor Branchy. He never stood a chance.
That's so much fucking. That's 3.
Poor tree.
51 damage.
Your sword, or sorry, your hammer comes down, and then just in the sound of like splintering and wooden decimation, this tears apart, and just in a blinding light leaves like little twig and splintery pieces falling to the ground, and the branch recoils back. From all of you guys outside, there's a great rumbling, and I need you guys to make dexterity saving throws.
Oh no!
I roar.
Same to you, Zakul.
A
Do I have
draconic roar
disadvantage?
right now.
Being on crutches?
On the staircase?
I'd say you super have disadvantage. You're a crippled guy on stairs that are suffering an earthquake.
Oh, yes!
21 dex save, okay. You stay standing.
6.
Zakul, you trip backwards a little bit here, and you can tell you're gonna fall over.
Not into Merton, hopefully.
You guys both fall and tumble down the stairs here, going past and landing kind of near Illyria.
Actually, as I'm falling, if I can, I'll try to stabilize Merton if I think he's gonna fall over.
Well, he's being held by you right now, so he's
Set him
upright.
down.
Oh, you laid him down on the ground?
Yeah, I
he's fine
set him
then.
down so I could draw my weapon.
Sure, you're fine. He's laying on the ground there. You fall next to him, like a couple feet away, just falling prone.
Okay.
Now, after that, you guys out here see something interesting. The tree seems to move, and it moves like it's recoiling back for a second. And you watch as other branches now come and start to crowd towards the door. They're not there yet, but they're moving towards it.
I'm gonna scream quickly, Zakul, and then hopefully he hears me.
I yell back. I can't move with all this shaking, and I need to get Merton out of here.
Okay, I'm gonna run into the house to help him, I guess.
Okay.
Do I get stopped by a tree branch?
You get up to here, where the tree branch is, and can see how it blocks your entrance.
I actually am gonna throw a rope in there, tie it around Burton, I'll pull him out.
I don't know if dragging him across this is the best idea.
While you two are yelling at each other, one of the branches comes reaching for you, Illyria.
Oh,
And
no,
it's not the
fucking
one that's
branch.
already blocking this, it's another one that's coming in from this angle. And its branches peel apart like some sort of strange three-fingered hand that's ready to grab at you.
Nope. I'm gonna try and dodge it and jump back a couple steps.
Sure.
What's the cat doing?
It's just watching from by the water. You dash back and go down the steps here, and the thing kind of like reaches forward, and then as you step back, it grabs like very slowly, like it's moving through molasses where you were a moment ago. And then after that, its hand opens again.
This thing is trying to entrap me in here.
Well, time to set it on fire.
Well, we're inside Illyria. Do not do that.
Well,
As I try to lift Merton up one last time. Does this thing look like I'm not going to be able to make it through? Because I can't see this second branch here. This one
cool.
in
Is there a
front of me.
window you could fit out of?
You could probably
Absolutely
force
not.
your way through if you like bull rushed it.
Okay, I'll lift up Merton and try attempt one last time to bull rush the one that I just attacked. And
Okay.
get through.
Make an athletics check, please.
Come on.
Oh.
10.
A 10. You run forward. With Merton on your back here, he's a considerable amount of weight, but it's difficult to pick up much momentum. And when you slam against the door here, which is being forcibly closed on you, you're able to hit the branches that are trying to pull at the thing. You hear the sound of the handle breaking as the branch tries to hold fast, and then after the handle breaks, you hear the sound of the branches start to break as well. You tumble forward, and you have a moment where you feel freedom on one side as the branches are giving way, while also feeling terror and failure on the other side as you lose a hold of Merton and he gets caught on one of the branches.
Oh no.
You tumble
So-
over the side and land onto the stairs.
Aren't I secured to him? So am I like stuck here too with them?
No,
on
you're
the
just holding
stairs?
on to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
He separates from you, and you tumble onto the steps here. And Illyria, you see Zakul go and fall down the first couple of steps before catching himself. And one of the branches here, which had previously grabbed at you, is now moving in your direction again, and a new one is coming around and reaching for Zakul. The one by the doorway does what it always does and starts to close the door.
I'll stand up with my hammer and attempt to start fighting. At least that's what Illyria sees as I'm turning back around.
Okay.
I've lost Merton, I scream.
Where is Merton?
Well, he's made a stone. Let's burn it down so we can get him.
While this is going on, Lucian, can I try and move around to behind the cat?
Sure. The cat sees you approach and looks at you, but it...
I'll take like a wide berth. Like I want to go like around this,
Okay.
if possible.
You get the sense that it's still watching you and like looks in your direction periodically, but mostly watches the spectacle going on here.
If I get behind it like this, I'm gonna start throwing firebolts behind it, trying to like scare it towards the house.
Okay. Your first firebolt is enough to make the cat start, and then it runs off into a different part of the swamp.
That wasn't the plan.
Meanwhile, back over here, the door finally closes. And when it does, you guys hear what sounds like a great sigh that comes from the tree. It's like a giant just going... And all of the branches seem to like stop animating and moving backwards, like they're drawing in different directions. Trent, your view is kind of on the cat there as you're hoping to corral it, and you notice something as you hear this great sigh. It's like there's a bluster of wind that hits the cat here, and when it does, it just pulls away and turns into dust in front of you.
While this is happening, I'm gonna try opening this door again, rushing over to
Can
it.
I roll anything on that? Like, what the fuck just happened?
I'll say not yet, but Zakul, as you run up and hurriedly handle for the door, the branches are pulling away, you swat one of them and move it, and with ease it goes back towards its original spot, these massive gnarled things now moving to where they were before. The door opens easily, and on the other side you see what looks like a small gray cat. Will, are you there?
Yeah.
You regain consciousness. You remember staring at the most terrible visage of all time, some sort of snake creature woman, and after that everything went black. And when the blackness fades, you can see around you again, but you feel different. Something's wrong. Something is like definitely different. And like looking back left and right and up and down, you see that your perspective is so much lower to the ground that it's like you're like a little miniature person, right? And you're right in front of a door which opens, and you watch as this massive door opens, and standing at it is Zakul, but he's like a giant compared to you.
Am I facing directly at Zakul?
Yeah, you're looking.
I
Like
had
right
the
at
thought that it would be funny if I ever regain consciousness, that I continue casting the spell I was casting at whoever's in front of me.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm a cat. I don't know if I can do that.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. So cool. You open the door. It opens inwards, and like a couple feet past the threshold of the door, you see this little cat, and it just looks up at you, and then kind of like waves a paw forward.
Oh my god.
And,
I look
growls
down.
angrily, like.
I look down at the cat like quizzically a moment, and then I look around like sharply. Merton's gone, right? I don't see him, right? Like his statue's gone.
You look around, and you're about to shout this. It catches in your throat, though, because as you go to shout, Merton's gone, you see that behind the cat is all of Merton's gear.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Like
still
there's
shout, Merton's gone. His gear is just laying on the ground.
His clothes are there, his weapons and everything, and standing like in the gear is just this cat looking at you.
Oh, hey, Zakul.
The cat
you
meows
talk
at
as
you
a cat?
twice.
Wait, can I try and pick up the cat, please? Please?
I'll step forward into the room and look around. Merton! Merton, are you here?
You try to
Stop.
speak to Zakul, and to your surprise, the only thing that comes out is two perfectly feline meows.
Oh my
And
god.
it starts to catch in you, and you look around, and you see, looking down, that there's like two paws there, and your skin is covered in fur. And rushing up, you see Illyria comes up to the top of the steps next, and then, well, what do you want to do, Illyria?
I'm
What
gonna
the
get on
fuck?
my knees and reach arms. Like, come here!
Illyria's excited to see you.
Come here!
Meow.
Come here! And I'll put my hands out so I can pick you up. Both of you up.
Interesting.
The cat looks around the room for a second. Like it's thinking what to do. Zakul, you stomp in and go
I'm
back
looking
and
through
forth.
I'm looking through my stuff.
I'm gonna rush up the stairs right now, by the way.
Sure.
Merton, are you here? As I run into the
The
stuff.
cat is looking through Merton's stuff.
There's nobody
The
upstairs.
cat is leaving through Martin stuff?
Yeah, the cat's like pawing around in it. As you turn around, Merton, you see like there's all of your gear there, but it's like supersized. You've been turned into a cat.
I realize I've been turned into a cat. I'm just trying to get something that I can show them that I'm a fucking cat. Well, maybe they know I'm a cat. Yeah, they probably know I'm a cat. I'd probably just
ghost cat over here.
what the fuck? Yeah, I'll go up to Illyria and try going. What the hell happened to me?
What'd
Meow,
you
meow,
do,
meow,
Larry?
meow.
How'd you get the cat back in the house? I just saw it turn to dust.
I come running back down the stairs. Merton's gone. I don't know what happened to him. His
Meow.
gear's on the ground.
Meow.
I produced flame and aim it at the cat.
What's that?
I produced flame, like I summoned that little ball of fire that I can hold like a torch, but it also has like I can throw it as an action, like an attack.
Sure.
So I'll summon it up in my hand and aim it at the cat.
Okay.
Valeria, I wouldn't get too close to that thing. I just saw it disappear,
Oops.
and now it's inside. I don't know what's going on.
What did you do at Merton? As
Meow.
I step
Meow.
towards the cat threateningly.
Every time he says
Interesting.
Merton, I meow.
Trent, when
Come
you
here.
look at the cat, though, there is something interesting. You have the produce flame at the ready, but giving it a second look, you notice that it doesn't have the same stripes. This is just like a pure gray cat.
Huh.
It doesn't look like the same one.
If you know what happened, Martin, jump in my arms.
Meow.
Oh, it knows. Wait, come here, kitty.
Hold
Where's
on, hold
Martin?
on. Detect magic.
Ah. When you cast Detect Magic, you can feel a great magic that runs throughout this entire area, but you can't put your finger on what school it is.
I got you, Will, here in Discord.
Grab all Martin's
What?
things.
Yes.
Oh. Meow.
I'm gonna walk into the house.
I'm looking at Martin.
Valeria, I'll let me
Meow.
by.
Oh,
Martin?
wait. Meow.
Meow twice if you're Martin.
Meow, meow.
The revelation of a century.
Are you sure you're Martin? Meow twice if you're Martin.
Valeria.
Meow, meow.
spell magic.
Oh, we don't know.
I wouldn't trust that thing, Illyria. It could be trying to deceive you.
What is Martin's?
I give the most heartbreaking look.
What's
So sad.
if Merton was a cat? What would he say?
Meow.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Okay, wait.
Valeria,
Okay,
spell magic.
who's your best friend? Walk to them.
Uh-oh.
Headbutts are cool.
Oh my god.
I step back as he's stepping towards me.
Oh my god, he loves Zakul. Zakul, you're an animal whisperer.
Here, kitty.
Nice kitty.
Wait, can I attempt to pick up Cat Martin?
Mm-hmm.
I bite you.
No! Oh my god! Okay, it's definitely Martin, guys.
It
Definitely
just
Martin.
bit you.
Just
You take
bit
2
me.
damage.
Oh my god.
Guys,
Hard
there is
bite.
magic all over this place. We need to get out of here.
Alright,
As I'm
well,
like gathering Merton's stuff.
get Martin's
Yeah.
things.
I'll group up all of Merton's things and carry it out, like in a.
Do you want
Put
to
it
come
in
with
the
us?
the blanket. We'll make like a giant satchel of Merton's gear.
Mhm.
Do you want to come with us?
Do I get the feeling that if I leave, I'm gonna turn to dust like the last fucking cat?
You have no
I have
idea.
no
You've
idea.
been
I have no
resurrected
idea.
by your group as a cat.
I look over towards Illyria. Did you try dispelling the magic? Whatever this
Oh.
is holding
Oh.
that
Oh,
cat.
okay, let's try and do this outside. So we're not in an all magic place where I dispel
It's
everything.
everywhere. It's outside too. It's this whole
Okay.
fucking area.
Okay, I'm gonna concentrate on you, Meow. Okay, so let me touch you. Please don't bite me. Okay?
Meow.
Oh, is that a yes? 2 meows for a yes?
Meow, meow.
Okay, I'm gonna touch
Okay.
Mercat on the head.
Mercat.
It's just spell
Mercat.
magic. I'm loving this.
As your group is reacting very differently, some of them with panic, others with elation, your new reality starts to set in. And the most important thing, perhaps, that you notice is you can smell really well. Like, you can pick up a lot of sort of nuances in the area that you didn't get before. Like, you can smell that there is like a piece of food nearby, and your attention's kind of like drawn towards the steps, and you can sense that there's like a what is it, like a sort of like musty smell that kind of comes from different parts of the room, that kind of thing. You can tell that your companions are like really in need of a
Dirty.
shower. Yeah.
Meow.
Wait, did dispel matter work
sass.
on Mercat?
Ah. When you go to cast Dispel Magic on him, your spell fails as though intercepted by something, and there's an audible shattering sound that happens when you go to cast it.
Like my dreams. Failed, guys. Don't know what to do. Guess he's a cat. They ain't a cat like a kitty.
As I'm picking up Merton's gear, do I see that necklace he always wears?
It's there amongst the gear, yeah.
I'm gonna hang it around the cat's neck.
Okay. You put the necklace around the cat.
Sort of wrap it a couple times so it stays like a collar.
Sure.
Ooh.
If you're Merton, maybe you'll figure out how to use this.
If you two are sure that that's Merton, then let's get out of here. Like Trent said.
See, look, he's getting sassy. It's gotta be him.
Throwing the blanket of Merton's stuff over my shoulder like a burglar who just robbed a house full of, stuff.
Wait,
I walk
before
out.
we go anywhere, I'm afraid he might not be allowed to leave like that last cat.
Oh.
Let me set up something here. Give me a few minutes. And I'm gonna start setting up the identify ritual.
Sure. When you finish it, what do you want to identify?
Merton.
Oh, interesting.
Mercat.
You discover that he is indeed a cat.
It says, identify says if you touch a creature that has a spell acting on it, you can learn.
It's like Arcana 20, right?
It says you learn whether any spells are affecting. If you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it. I guess it would only apply to spells.
You get some info that comes from the other side. Make an Arcana check to see how much you get. You'll definitely get something useful, but you might get more.
I'll take my my portent 15 plus 7 for a 22.
Ah, okay. Let's see. You know that Merton is cursed. And the curse that he has is not a regular spell or anything like that, or some simple curse spell. It is one that you've never heard before, and it is the curse of the lonely tree.
Yeah, guys, he's not going to be able to leave.
Oh, do we have to curse? Ooh, guys, hear me out before you say no.
Lonely tree.
We're
wait,
gonna
no, you didn't say
kidnap
that.
someone, force them to be the cat, and then we save Merton.
I turn and look over towards the cat, and then Illyria and Trent. That works for me. I don't really care.
Surprisingly,
Find a poor soul.
Surprisingly, not looking like this is the worst idea.
How are we gonna lure someone?
I look down towards Merton and at Mercat and ask him once for yes, no. Are you okay with attempting to leave to see if it binds you here, or do you want to not test that? Once for yes, twice for no.
I said quiet because I don't know anything about what the fuck's going on.
Guys,
Cat stares at you.
I think I know someone we can trap here.
Ooh, who?
Wait, I look down once again, like, are you sure this is Merton? He
Meow.
Oh, see, look, listening at that meow. Look at that meow. Listen,
Guys, when we were in the Gorgon, the maze, the under the tree thing, there was another stone person there.
Oh.
If it worked on Merton,
ooh, yeah.
Illyria, do you think you can guide Zakul and Zenkus back there if I stayed here with...
Wait, where are we going?
I look over towards Trent, like, you expect us to trek one more day through the swamp, and then another day back with another stone statue on my back.
It's the only
Yeah.
way.
I'll help you.
I shrug.
While you guys do that, I'll stay here and I'll study Merton, see if there's any other ways to break the spell, but I'm
Okay.
worried because the last one that the spell was broken on just sort of disappeared into nothing.
Wait, don't say that! In front of Mercat.
Meow.
You say club. Put you down.
Now the
That's
situation is
why-
becoming clear, and you're starting to realize exactly what's at stake here, Merton.
That's why I have to stay here and study this, see if I can figure out what's going
Read
on.
all the books.
Standing next to the doorway, you can see past its threshold, and you hear what sort of terrible things may happen if you pass it. You even see down 15 feet onto the ground what looks like a little pile of dust over there blowing in the wind.
I have a question.
Away from the door.
Since Tessa was all about like debunking like stuff like this, like myths and like crazy curses, like Curse of the Lonely Tree,
Mhm.
and since it's so close to Valu, do you think her book would know anything?
I'd leave it to a luck check. It would be like a
I
local
would.
legend.
Yes. Can I
Roll
try that
luck.
with the book? Can I open the book and ask, even though it asks who the fuck I am?
If you have a 10 or higher, there's something in the book about it.
No! This is
At the table.
It is not one of the mysteries Tessa has included in here.
Stupid book. Can I also explain to the book who I am if it asks who I was?
Oh yeah, like retcon conversation. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
it was like, who the hell are you? And then we never answered it.
It was like the end of the session. You're like, the book says, "Who the hell are you?" And then we ended it.
Sure. You tell the book, and we'll say this happened at the beginning of the session, and the book simply writes back, okay.
Like the
That's
letters or the
Yeah.
word.
Worst text message ever.
Fine.
Can I use you?
We're not going back that far. You'll have to do those book interactions later.
Oh, okay.
You guys should go while it's light out, so that Tessa or Illyria has a better chance of finding where we came from.
Yep.
Okay. Zancas, you're with me then. You're with us as well. Merton, if you're in there and understand them. Stay put with Trent. Trent. I want to say something, but then I changed my mind and I turned back like, okay, we'll be back then.
Here, I'll pass over the Wand of Secrets, the bracelet with the 2 counter spells from.
Wait! Oh, never mind. I see. Maybe we should put that on Merton when it happens, but like the whole cat thing, the whole dust thing.
I don't know if he would be able to use it. You have to pull it off. I don't know if his paws can do that.
Okay, we'll teach him.
You guys take that. I can be here to counterspell for him. I have that.
Sure.
So you guys have the bracelet with 2 counterspells, the Wand of Secrets.
Zancas, take the wand. Illyria, hold on to that bracelet then.
Oh,
go.
sure.
I've given Illyria Tessa's book already, and the last thing is I'll give Zakul the Amulet of Constellations. I haven't even bothered to check this recently, but you guys will have a lot of travel ahead of you. I'm going to be busy here.
I think we'll be slightly more busy than you, pushing it back towards. And maybe you should be checking messages here,
All right.
as you
I
said.
won't
This
respond or anything until you guys get
cross-country
back.
trekking here. You're like, yeah, you can manage the Twitter while you're out there running too. Jesus, what are you doing here other than sitting there studying?
So you're going to keep the message amulet,
Yeah, I'm keeping the
Okay.
amulet.
and the other 3 are going off to where?
The Medusa's
To the-
cave in
yeah.
order to find that petrified adventurer that was in the middle of the pool.
Ah, okay.
Zakul here. You might want to give Zenkest that necklace. It might help with his injuries and
Oh,
getting around.
right. I take the necklace off and I pass the necklace of free movement over to Zenka, as well as the wand of secrets.
Okay.
That's pretty much everything I have, unless you guys want my pocket sand.
Nope, I'm good.
You never take a man's pocket sand.
You don't know where that sand's been. You start
Um,
heading off the east.
This won't last too long, but it's something, and I'll, it's probably not even worth it. Never mind. I could make 2 of you invisible as you guys set off, but it would only last an hour.
Now, Mercat, what are you doing right now?
Looking around this goddamn tree.
Sure.
Probably would have found my way upstairs by now.
Sure. You see him go up the steps there, Trent, and Mercat goes back to curiously where the last cat was.
Good luck, guys.
I shout back, make sure you look for a book up there in those bookshelves about this curse. Maybe there's more to be found. And let's go then. We lead off.
Okay.
I'm shouting that to Trent as I leave.
Mark your path when you're leaving. You don't want to lose this place.
I turn towards Illyria and Zenk. Well, you two are much better at navigating than me.
I will sprinkle. What do I have? Ball bearings and stamp them into the ground so it'll get blown away. Yep.
Wait.
Got it.
As I watch her dropping a ball bearing into like a couple inches of water, I look at her. Like,
Bloop!
Hey,
That's
they're
gonna work?
shiny. They'll shine.
I nod, like, okay.
Maybe they
I
won't shine.
face
I'll
fall.
stop.
Well, it definitely might work. I don't know. The coolest
Break
terrible.
branches. If you break branches on the tree, you'll be able to see the broken branches. Just make it obvious, break like a sturdy one. Use the hammer.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall try.
Start
Remember,
smashing branches.
we did that whole northern travel when we were avoiding the magic. So you might have to go a bit south. Good luck, guys. Don't be stupid.
Actually, could I have left a bunch of stuff here to try to loosen some of my weight?
Sure.
I would have dropped the short bow, some hide arm, like a bunch of, like, I'll leave, like, my blanket or my bedroll here with a bunch of shit on top of it.
Sure.
I will message to you separately as,
Okay.
like, just alleviating a lot of my weight before I head off.
The three of you leave and go to find this petrified adventurer. As for you, Trent, you're left here. You can hear the pitter-patter upstairs of what is potentially Merton meandering around. What do you want to do?
First, I would like to barricade the door. I'll pull a table or something over in front of it, maybe wedge one of the chairs under it.
Well, the door seems to close of its own volition anyway, but you do put a couple of things in front of it just to kind of make sure.
Well, if anything from outside tries to push in, because the door swings open this way, right?
Yeah.
So I want to, if something starts to push in, give some sort of barrier to block it.
Okay.
And then after I've barricaded myself in, I'll head up to find Mercat.
Okay.
Lucian, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So, the way of changing spells is at the end of a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be possible for me to take 8 hours of relaxing here to change a spell?
Sure.
Or okay, so I'll start doing that then, so I can pick up comprehend languages. I don't know if it'll work, but it's a curse and these things are weird. So
Okay. Now, Mercat, you had emerged up into this top room here, which is a kind of cozy spot. The window there casts a set of sunbeams that fall throughout the middle here and illuminate what looks to be a bookcase over on one side and a nice comfortable chair next to a table. What do you want to do?
Look for a secret area or something in this place. Maybe something interesting.
All right. You can go ahead and make a perception check.
hot diggity damn.
20.
Okay. While you are upstairs and looking around, you do notice something. There are other paw prints on the ground, like some other cat has been through the area. And you can see that there's actually little claw marks as well, and you know that the previous cat that was here must have spent a great deal of time relaxing in that cushioned chair.
I will go over and sit on the cushioned chair.
Okay. The chair is warm and comfortable. A couple of the sunbeams land in its direction, and you can feel your fur beginning to warm up. And by the time that you're getting really comfy, you're feeling not necessarily sleepy, but just very relaxed when Trent comes up through the next area and steps into the study.
So it's nice, but it's something an actual cat would do, and I don't really care about that. I would hop down,
Okay.
try to look for things to stop me from being a cat.
Mercat is quite involved up here. As you emerge into the top study, you see him wandering back and forth, Trent.
I'm going to, as I'm sort of like, preparing myself to switch up my schools of magic. I know I have to relax. I probably can't, investigate the stories or anything, but I'll spend the time, at least for the next few hours, probably boring Merton to death as I tell him everything that I know about Merton. Trying to keep who he really is fresh in his mind. I don't know how the spell is affecting him. I don't know how these curses work, but I don't want him forgetting who he was. So I'll tell him about how he's, this undead, ghosty creature we call Paladin Merton. I'll tell him about all of our adventures. So, basically just tell our story as a group. Starting with when we all met up on the caravan with Tessa and going to Misty Town, our adventures in Hillcrest, and his hatred of the House Thundercock, and maybe tell him some of the stories I remember of the Thundercocks from Soulsland.
Okay.
Meow. He snarled.
Just boring the shit out of him, probably. But
Did I
gotta remind him.
Did I hear the name of what the curse is called?
The Curse of the Lonely Tree.
So I can understand,
Yes.
and I wonder if I could read.
The writing on the backs of the books is available to you, and you can tell what they say.
Alright. I'm gonna meow to Trent and do a head nod, and then walk down the stairs.
Okay. You make
I'll
your way
follow
back
him.
down the steps.
I meow at the barricade he set up at the door.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if that's a good idea, but I'll start moving stuff away.
I keep meowing until he clears it off.
And I'll pull the door open for him.
I nudge your leg.
I'll point at myself and then point outside.
Meow.
I'll step out of the house.
You step out of the house. Are you letting go of the door? I guess you kind of have to, given that it opens inwards.
Yeah, and given the fact that I'm, on crutches and can't really do these steps without.
Sure. You step outside and let go of the door, and, well, as it does normally, it closes, leaving you alone in the tree there, Merton.
You said there's a little window I can look through in the door, right?
Yep, you can kind of peer through. It's very, opaque, though. Again,
I'll try and watch what Merton does from outside.
Yeah,
checking
Merton
if-
looks like a gray splotch through those panes kind of thing.
I'm checking if anything has changed now that I am lonely in the lonely tree.
Ah. Without need for a check, the area around you significantly relaxes. It's hard to put your finger on it, but it's like a sort of welcome change. Like when you go into a room that is got a soul to it almost, where everything just is the way it should be. If you've ever been in a place where all of the furniture is from a different time period and they've gotten it all perfectly right, it's kind of like that. Everything just settles into spot. It seems right. You would also be unmistakably certain that magic is at work here.
Merton told me about this.
I go back to the door and meow loudly and scratch at it.
Sure.
Quickly fling the door open if it's allowed to be.
Okay. You open the door and find Mercat there on the other side.
Point at myself, point inside.
I just turn around and go back in.
Sassy cat.
I follow. And then I'll just sort of settle in here, and I'm gonna start focusing on spells that I learned about breaking curses. Thinking back to my time at the academy, I'm sure I took a class on curses.
Okay.
Just anything I can think of to help him out here.
Sure. You can make an Arcana roll.
Wish I had another 15. Oh, it almost landed on 15. That's 60 total.
So, you know that some curses are easily fixed with a Dispel Magic, but those are lower tier curses. This must be something much more powerful. You can't put your finger on it, and, it's not a spell that you know. There's probably a set of conditions that can break it, or maybe some sort of more powerful version of Dispel that could be at hand. But you're not certain what it is that you need to do to break it. Your wizard's intuition here, like the things that would come to mind, would involve, of course, messing with the tree, as it seems to be like the principal portion of the curse.
Okay.
So maybe it needs to be destroyed or pleased in a way, or, it could be as simple as just like a lever hidden in it or a magic stone, or, who knows, right? But the tree is probably what's at hand.
Are the roots... I mean, I know this tree is pretty massive. Are the roots exposed at all?
Outside, you can see them before they plunge down under the earth.
Is there, any sort of crawl space underneath there that we might have seen when we were walking around, or is it pretty flush with the ground?
You could go give it a look.
Yeah, I'll go out there and walk around the base of the tree looking for any areas to crawl up underneath it.
Are there...
The room relaxes again when Trent leaves, and you feel like the place around you is soothing in a way, almost.
Are there any, pictures on the wall, books in a bookshelf, notes on a table?
Nope.
Nothing. It's pretty blank. Oh, I see some furniture around.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing on them. It's just... There's no items.
Yeah, it's just kind of how you'd find, a hotel room.
I already searched for hidden rooms, so there's none of those. Are the walls made of the tree, or is...
Yes.
The walls are made of the tree. Huh.
Trent, as you go down and look around the area here, you can see that there are spaces where the large roots gnarl up and down before they plunge down under the ground. As far as crawl spaces go, you find none. There are little nooks and whatnot, the kind that maybe a squirrel would use to kind of huddle up in, or a family of raccoons, but nothing like an actual tunnel that you can use.
I will check every single one of the little nooks that I see, looking for any sort of arcane writing or sigils or something disturbed, maybe a gem or something out of place, or anything that looks magical.
Okay. You are largely out of luck, and looking around the area, you don't find anything like that. It's just completely mundane. It's just a massive, overgrown tree in the middle of nowhere that somebody has managed to carve a house into.
If I go, now that I'm the only one here, if I start going towards the door, does that easiness not stay? Does it get nervous? It doesn't want me to leave?
Ah. You can feel something like the relaxation is about to fade when you get up towards the door. And it only happens when you're very close to it, a foot away.
Okay. I'm not leaving. I just wanted to know that.
Sure. Now, Trent, after examining the tree, it's going to be a day or two before your group comes back. Are you doing anything else here?
So these are my goals that I kind of laid out for myself when I knew that I was going to stay here studying. So first, I want to get comprehend languages and see if I can understand anything from Merton.
Okay.
Second of all, when it gets to nighttime, I want to investigate the fireflies that we saw when we first arrived here, and that lamppost is the last thing that I want to look at. Because
Sure.
as far as I know, the only thing other than the stairs on the exterior of this tree is this lamppost, right?
The comprehend languages doesn't work, unfortunately. Okay. After hours and hours, you swap your spells and try it, and his meows don't register as anything different. When the evening rolls around, the fireflies cluster around here, but they just seem to find the tree as like the place to be for whatever reason. I don't know what kind of tests you want to run on them, but they just seem to gather around here in little clusters.
Mostly spells mostly investigations involving like seeing if detect magic reveals anything about the fireflies. Like, are they being drawn here magically, or are they affected by this curse? Is there something else at play here? Like, is this like a sacred space or something? Like that kind of stuff.
Your detect magic lets you feel that the tree is indeed magical, and there's nothing magical about the fireflies, if that helps.
Okay. I had an inkling that, lonely tree, it's probably looking for companionship, and the fireflies are probably drawn to that, like to light or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then the lamppost, especially during the daytime, do I notice what the light is from? Can I see, is there fireflies living in there, or?
It looks like a cocoon, and the inside seems to have some kind of flame that flickers in it. When you get really close to it, you can see the mimicry of some sort of little fire in it, but it gives off like a weird sort of yellowish and greenish light. The light only comes on when the sun is going down.
How opaque is it? It's clear enough that I can tell there's a fire inside or some sort of flickering light source.
Yeah, but, just barely.
Okay. That's a little interesting to me. I'll come back to that. I'll probably hold off on that until everybody's here.
Sure.
But the lamppost and this cocoon in particular, it seems to be the only thing that stands out. When I'm using detect magic near the lamppost, do I feel is it any stronger near the lamppost or anything? This might be a source of the magic?
I forgot about that spell. You would definitely feel a magic from the lamppost. And it would be the illusion school.
Okay. Do I know if I've seen probably what's that eternal fire spell?
Yeah, it could be something like that.
Okay. If I touch the cocoon, does it feel just natural, or does it feel sort of strange? Does that make sense?
I would say it feels organic, but nothing about it feels unsettling.
Okay.
It's like
and
a
I don't
wax
see
and paper.
I don't see anything that might have spun the cocoon. I don't see any other insects or anything living in it.
No.
Okay. Well, that is definitely interesting to me, and I will probably come back to that when everybody else gets here.
Sure.
But those were my main things, and then just, like I said before, just thinking back on all my courses, trying to figure out, obviously this seems like something you need a cleric or a druid to fix, which is the exact situation we were in before. But I'll try and keep my mind on those things, and maybe if I'm particularly bored, I'll go read some of those stories that I haven't read before.
Okay.
Especially ones that mention curses.
You return back in, and Mercat, you're just wandering around. If there's anything you want to do, let me know. As
I
for
test it out. I don't know how much I've changed. If I try to phase through a chair, it's not going to work, is it?
You find you're unable to use those powers, strangely enough.
I don't have magic, I don't have undead stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I can't, talk to Tyrannus or anything.
The other thing, too, that you notice is you can actually feel being alive again. You have, a heart that's beating, and, a heat that runs through you.
Quite a serious curse.
Now, it takes a while, but you guys eventually make it towards the cave. and find this petrified adventurer there. What are you guys doing? Just picking him up and dragging him back?
He's in the water, right?
Yes.
So I think from our last experience, we can't go in the water.
You could go in there if you want.
Well,
Well,
we don't
shouldn't
know
go in the water.
if the effect of the Medusa is gone now.
Can
Hold on.
grab a
Try-
leaf and throw it in?
Yeah, throw something in the water. Maybe the effect is gone.
Ah. What you toss into the water does not turn to stone.
Can I toss a bunch more things in the water just to be sure?
Sure, one by one, whether they float or sink, they retain their original form. Perhaps the curse on this place is lifted.
Well,
Okay.
here we go then.
gonna
I
step
did
in.
one toe in. I had a malaria.
I need you to make a... No, you just step into the water.
Oh, fuck.
Well,
Okay.
it seems okay now. Let's lift this poor man or thing.
Yeah, I'd like
As
to-
we start looking at it, does it look to be human, a half elf?
Yeah, he's human. He's wearing leather with like a little backpack on, that kind of thing. Now, you guys go ahead, grab a hold of him, and you're dragging him back, right?
Well, I'll lift him and take him towards the entrance. Then, like, I set him down for a moment. And, like, I'm just thinking of the long walk ahead, and I need to make a prayer to Azun. Can you give me a few moments here?
Sure.
And I'll pull out my holy symbol and give a prayer. Like, please give me strength to make this trek for the third time with a huge weight on my back in hopes to save my friend. But I basically last time at the end of the session, as we're deciding spells and you had told us we get a long rest, I added Find Steed to my list and then I completely forgot I had it. So right now is when I had the revelation that I can call a steed.
Ah, okay.
I will call Warhorse here.
Awkward.
Does that have components to it?
It does not.
Okay. Coming around from one of the magical swamp and trees, you see what looks to be a dark horse that runs up to you out of nowhere.
I thank my God once again. Oh, thank you.
When you issue a prayer up towards the heavens, the horse neighs, almost as if in recognition to you.
Well, my God has blessed us with something. Let's make haste back, and I'll help like hoist the statue of this adventurer onto the back of the horse.
Okay.
Which has plenty of weight capacity. Tie it down on him.
Your group?
It won't be moving any faster than us because we have to keep up with it.
Sure. But it does take the weight off your back, and you guys travel in the opposite direction. About a day and a half goes by so that it's becoming late once again when you guys return back towards the tree. Trent, you've had a long day of going through stuff. You eventually laid down for a rest and wake the next day. Nothing happens during that day, but when the evening is coming around, your group returns. With them, they have a horse that carries the stone man.
I had one more idea.
Sure.
While they were gone, I would have nudged Trent upstairs to sit on that spot that seemed like it wanted to be sat in. I would tell him to sit there, and then I would like sit on his lap and like nuzzle up to him.
Probably feeling super awkward.
Probably, yeah.
You take a seat in the chair, and your new feline companion nestles next to you. The room you're in is cozy, with its little little bookshelf and the little table and everything. You can imagine yourself seated here and spending long hours poring through interesting stories and whatnot. But, well, with everything else at hand, it's tough to get into that.
I'll scratch him behind the ears and read him the fairy tales here.
Sure.
Probably something happy to lift his spirits given everything going on.
And they were all turned to stone and died. The end.
And the Medusa turned and looked at them and they froze where they were, turning to stone. The
Can
end.
Well, do I think I had the skills to write something? One of the items I had was like ink and paper. Would I be able to like do a
Not
really
with your
shitty
kitty
note?
paws.
No.
Nope.
Dip my ink in the, or my paw in the ink.
Just smudge ink all over the place? Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Well, if I put a finger in, I don't know if I could write or not. I've never been a cat before, so I don't know.
You could write, although it would be awkward, kind of like writing with your left hand, and the size of the like the pen tip would basically be your whole paw.
So you could get like one word per page, maybe. If it's like 3 letters.
If I could just write one word, I would write.
Fuck.
I'd write party.
Oh.
Just get that off onto a piece of paper.
Yeah, you use a single pack of ink to write on a piece of parchment the word party. Your paw is also now stained a deep blue. Trent, you see this piece of parchment.
Study the parchment, look at Merton, look back at the parchment, look back at Merton, and just be like, I don't know what to tell you, they're coming back eventually.
Oh, I thought you were going to start doing dance moves. I have just the illusion.
Have you ever heard Sandstorm by Darude?
What's that song? Meow. Hours go by, and gradually the group returns.
During my study at all, do I get the sense that this curse is going to kill him if we do what we're planning on doing right now?
You don't know.
Okay.
Now, you three come back towards the tree there, and you guys inside the tree can hear your friends returning. It's late, like probably like 7 o'clock kind of thing.
I'm changing my spells up for this this day, by the way, but it wouldn't have affected anything.
Sure.
I'll lead the horse up the stairs here, like being sure that the statue doesn't fall.
Okay.
Illyria and Zenkis, go on ahead. Say we're back.
Thanks.
Trent's probably somewhere reading or pacing.
Okay. You guys can hear him moving about inside the house.
If I had used Identify on the cocoon, would I have gotten anything?
You would find out that it does indeed have the Eternal Flame spell on it.
Okay. Well, I will be waiting for the party.
Sure.
I shout out to Zenkis and Illyria once again. They know we're here.
Oh, I don't know, guys.
I will go open the door.
Sure. They're down there at the bottom of the steps.
Hey guys,
Hey, where's Merc at?
we gotta talk.
Oh, sounds serious.
Is this
Yeah,
staircase like big enough for a warhorse to carry statue up, or are we just gonna kind of wait here?
I'd say it's probably a bit too steep for a horse to handle.
Okay, then I'll take the statue off and start securing it to my back from the
Sure.
bottom as used to go ahead first.
Mercat, what are you doing right now as the group returns and you hear your party and see them out the door?
Standing there.
Okay.
I thought of everything. I don't know. Still thinking about what to do.
Oh, do I get new partner rolls today, Lucian?
Yes.
And recovery rolls?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't roll my recovery roll from the first night we slept in there.
Sure.
8.
Didn't you have like 3? It's been like 3 days.
You get 2 sets.
Good luck, Zenkis.
So
Roll
1
20.
miss and... Oh,
It's close.
you are still Le Crip.
When they all arrive in here and we situate this new statue in here,
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of sit everybody down at the table. Maybe pull the bed over so that there's a couple extra seats or something.
Okay.
Invite Merton to hop up onto the table or the bed or whatever if he wants to. But I figure he should probably hear this also. So here's what I've done the past day. I've thought about what's going on here, and the only thing I can come up with is that this is some sort of powerful curse. I know that there is magic that can break such a thing, but it's not available to any arcane caster. It's more of a divine or natural spell as far as I'm aware.
I nod.
I think I've heard of, some of my wizards studying this in particular. Those who are, more schooled in the abjuration magics than I am. But it's nothing available to me, at least, unless I seek it out. The problem that I see going forward with our current plan is that the last cat was vanquished to dust when the spell had passed, and I'm not sure if that was because the cat was extremely old and would have naturally have become ash over time, or if that is because when the spell breaks on you, you are released from this world. I don't know how that will affect Merton either, given that he's already undead, if he's like immune to this effect or what. The other thing I know is that usually with curses like this, there is a natural way to break them. Something to do with the tree or the magics here to investigate and find out and solve it. Though in the small span of time we've been here, I haven't been able to find anything. I searched for any sigils that the tree might have or signs during the night with the fireflies of magic present here.
Now, Trent, if we're going off this, you think if we leave this statue here and remove Merton from looking over towards the cat from the tree, he'll return back to normal, or that he will just be free of the tree?
What I know will happen for sure, if we take everyone else out of here except for that statue that I point to, the statue will probably turn into the cat and be stuck here as Merton is currently and as the last cat was before. Now, what'll happen to Merton, I can see one of a few things. Either he'll go back to being a statue, which would be bad, but not the worst case scenario. He could be turned to dust and gone from the world, which would be
right.
the
I'm
worst
following
case
so
scenario.
far. I can't pretend to know much about this. I turn towards Illyria and Zenkos. You have any ideas?
I mean, Markat, what do you think? Would you want to be willing to try it anyway?
It is a grave risk to take. But
I mean, it is your choice. It's your life.
I'll shake my head. No.
Do you want to stay a cat in this house alone forever?
No, I believe Merton is saying we should probably look for more information before risking him turning into dust.
Okay.
I've been using detect magic as I go around this place, and there's a strange strength of magic everywhere. If you guys haven't used that wand yet, perhaps we give it a try and see if there is anything hidden here. I
turn towards Zenkos.
Couldn't find anything naturally, but perhaps the wand might reveal something that was not available to my eyes.
I pull out the wand and use it.
Okay. When you activate the Wand of Secrets, it does reveal that there is a hidden door on the first floor, and it's a little trap door that's underneath the bed.
Ah, fuck!
That's what I was looking for when I rolled a 20. It's probably magical.
Let's, I will,
I
since
look
I
over
now
towards the
have it,
bed.
since I now have it prepared, I will cast Identify and touch the door to see if there's any magic on the door to keep us from going in.
There is not any magic on the door, but you do find a little handle, which is like a small recessed knob of wood that you can grab at to open it.
Alright. I'll gesture that if he wants to, Mercat can ride on my shoulder, and then I'll pull it open.
Okay.
I turn and whisper towards Illyria sarcastically. Looked everywhere for 2 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saw every nook
Everywhere.
and cranny.
Yep.
Sarcastically just smirk.
There's a... it's almost like a hermetic seal when you pull on the thing. The trap door is so well fitted to the ground that it gives off like a pressure change when you pull it open. And you see what looks like a... what's it called? It's a ladder going straight down, maybe about 5 feet into some little recessed room. And you can see that down there's a greenish, yellowish glow from something. You can also feel a waft of cold air that comes up when you open it.
Well, should we proceed?
Oh, sure. We might as well.
Sure. I will walk over towards my bedroll and collect it all back into my backpack. Oh yeah. Since the steed got dismissed, I can still summon it again with the same constitution and all that later. I will be naming it Black River for Trent's case.
So you're
I
gonna
thought that was a
ride
pretty
Black
great
River.
name.
I mean, it's like a black gray horse. Right? So.
And we get to ride Black River, that's the best part.
He turns over and is gray.
Yeah, he's
I'll
like a
pick up
dirty,
everything.
smelly animal, the wood attack mule for
You
us.
can
I'm
put shitty
gonna
clothes
search
on
for
it.
putting it
Get the worst saddle imaginable.
But yeah, I'll pick up all my gear and get ready to just follow them down. I'll
Sure.
be like the rear guard.
Are you headed down into there, Trent?
Is it stairs or a ladder?
A ladder.
I have a broken leg, guys. I don't know if I can even get down there.
Well, then why are you carrying the cat on your shoulders?
I'm not on my
Valeria,
shoulder
you
because
wanna
I don't
leave?
know. I don't know if going down there counts as leaving, so I'm not.
Okay.
You guys want to lower me down on a rope?
Illyria, perhaps an able-bodied person should go down first. Consider it's a ladder. Zanket
Well, it might help to have
also looking like he's struggling there a little bit. I turned towards Illyria.
the more of you up here to lower me down, the safer I'll feel about, being on a rope held up here.
I can lower you down. It's fine. You're not that heavy. As I
I'm
like
pretty
that
beefy.
point.
I weigh like 220 pounds without gear.
Okay. Well, if
I'm like
Zanket gives me
6'4".
full
I
strength,
decided to
might
make
be
a
okay.
giant fucking wizard.
Regardless,
I'm like 40 pounds without gear.
I turn towards Illyria and Zenkes. Like, okay, do we want to lower the cripple down first until
Well, if
what could be
anybody
a
can
crocodile
tell you if
pit?
Well, if there's any magic down there, I can
What?
identify it and perhaps prevent it from.
I shrug. All I can picture in my head is us lowering Spade into a fishing pond. But sure, let's do this then.
Can I cast Conjure Flame and just like hold it over the lip of it to see how deep it goes? Can I see the bottom?
Yeah, there's like a little dirt floor, maybe about 5 feet down.
Oh, it's not that far, guys. And I'll like sit down on the ground, and then like grab my broken leg and drag it over the hole.
Sure.
As I'm nodding along, the other 2 or 3 of you are able to say, like, this is not the brightest idea. Maybe one of you guys want to go ahead.
No, they just want to watch the cripple go down the steps.
I'll turn around and grab the lip of the edge with my hands, and then like monkey bar, like swing my body down so that I'm holding on and
Sure.
I'll aid him coming down the stairs here, or this ladder here.
Okay.
Can
Trent,
someone slide my crutches, then I'll drop and try and catch myself on my one good leg.
it's
I'm just gonna drop the crutches down.
when you land in
It's
there,
only
it's
like
not
5 feet,
graceful, but you notice that the space you're in is kind of like a crawl space, and you couldn't really use the crutch if you wanted to anyway. It goes up maybe like 4 feet in height.
I'll drop to my knees and start dragging myself forward, occasionally holding the conjure flame in front of me to see.
I turn towards Zenkus. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of room down there. Perhaps you should go down with him.
You can see, 10 feet away from you, Trent, the source of the light. And like a large piece of ember that has encased its victims, you see 2 figures stuck in a large crystalline structure. It takes up the majority of the space. The little carved out area through the ground that leads towards it is like a little meandering tunnel that runs up to a sort of yellowish and greenish lattice work that gives off like a faint sort of glow to it. And inside of it, you see what looks like an elderly woman holding a cat.
Hey guys, I think I found something down here. There's an old lady and a cat.
I'm gonna jump down and look at
it. When you hop down Illyria, you can see it at the end of the little tunnel. There it is. There's an elderly woman holding her cat, and both of them are kind of like kind of like clustered around each other, like they're in like an eternal embrace.
Right? Oh. It's like a gemstone with them in it or something.
Yes.
I'll shout down into the hole. Do you need me down there? Is everything?
Somebody can either break it, or maybe Illyria can dispel the magic. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before.
Wait,
what is it that you see?
Rest, right?
I shout down.
You just had a long rest, yes.
Oh, thank God.
It's like a crystal, and there's an old lady holding a cat inside of it.
Well, I don't know what's happening.
Really old and kind of ugly.
Can I try to spell magic?
Probably smells like old people.
Sure. You reach forward and go ahead and cast Dispel Magic. And the moment that you do, the light from this crystal drains away, leaving you in just a completely blackened tunnel.
Wait, he has his...
Just whoosh, all the light disappears. The tree begins to tremble. Next to you, Zenkas, and you can see this as well, Zakul, a completely naked Merton appears on the table there. And the walls of the tree are like rumbling, and it looks like
the best thing about this whole thing.
They're like
the naked Merton.
Ghost Merton? What does a naked ghost look like?
No, because you have the amulet on, so it's just like...
You're back to normal Merton.
Yeah.
I'm like a chubby...
chubby paladin just naked there on the table. The walls start to close in and constrict, and you can hear the sound of like the books falling from upstairs, and one of the rungs on the ladder pops out.
Go, Illyria, get out of here.
Start gathering all my shit.
Crawling up, and then I'm gonna drop a rope for Trent to grab onto.
I already had the rope hanging down.
Oh, okay.
At the top.
Sure.
I just grab the rope and tie it around my midsection and hold on.
Sure.
Alright, I'm ready.
As hard as I can.
You pull him out, and by the time that you've secured Trent, all of the walls have come in maybe 5 or 10 feet, leaving you in a dramatically smaller room. You can hear the sound of what must be like the leaves swaying outside and wind blowing about. You hear a piece of wood smashing on the ground, maybe one of the branches from the tree.
Time to go.
Start hopping.
Yeah, we're
on
gonna
my
hit his crutches again.
Okay. You guys hobble and hurry out and eventually manage to escape from the tree. The last of you getting out, probably Trent with Zakul's help, find it the most difficult as the door too has shrunk, but with a bit of forcing it, you're able to get through and stumble down the smaller growing steps and get outside of this large shrinking tree. The whole thing continues, and its grand stature comes down further and further and further until all of the crackling and splintering noises finally recede when it finishes and looks like a perfectly normal tree there. The only thing that remains outside of it is a little lamppost with a flame in it.
What happened to the other stone guy that we left in there?
Oh, you would have heard a satisfying stony crunch at some point.
Oh.
Wait, so did we see at all what happened to the old lady holding her cat?
Nope, the tunnel just went dark.
I just scratched my head like, so, You had me trapezing across the swampland.
Hey man, I was worried about Merton. I did everything I thought was right, okay?
Hey,
Ah,
at least Martin's back.
When you
Oh.
turn to face Merton, you see that one of the swamp leaves has blown over and just lands perfectly where his junk is, and the wind keeps it there.
You guys
Little
picked
fun
that
out
out.
here, eh, Merton?
We
You guys
should
picked
probably
out
give him
a
his
place to
clothes.
stay for the night.
I picture
down
you
the
like
back,
you got your
buddy.
hands on your waist, like just loud and proud, kind of leaning
Yeah,
back.
like Superman pose.
Yeah,
I
with
hobble over.
glad
I
you're
hobble
back.
over and give Merton a hug and whisper in his ear, "Don't worry,
I won't tell anyone about you
Yeah.
sitting in my lap.
This leaf got brushed. Leaf is annoying.
Guys, this was definitely one way to break that curse on Martin. Just
I
saying.
turn and look over.
Oh, by the way, you can look at her as long as you don't look in the eyes. Yeah, thanks, Trent.
And with that, we will end the session.
I'll jump in the ribbing now because Merton said, "Yeah, we'll use the fog cloud to obscure the vision, so we can't."
The episode
Totally
fades
keep that
out with
up.
everybody just shitting on Trent. Oh, it'll be
Well,
fine,
at
they
least I
said.
didn't sit on someone's lap naked.
I was trying to break the curse.
That's a euphemism
Oh, man,
for
what a
something.
session.
Should have held you like that lady who was holding her cat.
And
Oh,
with
That's
that,
one way to break a petrify, I guess.
we end the session. So
Rip
congratulations,
Stony Boy.
players. You did pretty damn good, I think. There
another
were
fun side quest evolutions.
a number of ways there you could have severely fucked that up.
If we had walked out, would he have been just dead?
I'll tell you some things when the stream closes. Audience, good to have you. Patrons couldn't do without you. We'll see you tomorrow for another session if it happens. I think we're missing a guy and we're late
Relic
another
be
one,
there?
so we
Yeah,
may
Relic.
not. Yeah, tomorrow may not happen, but you know, check in. Who knows? But we will see you later. Adios.
Rip Stony Boy.
Take care of Twitch.
Poor
Stay
Stony
safe.
boy.
That was a
Listen.
great way to break petrify.
Any chance I can
You
get
didn't have to pay anyone.
Black River token here?
Oh.
Black River. I was thinking of good names because you asked her names and I was like, oh my god, Black River.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just name it Gray because I'm not very creative here. It is
Right, that's a famous dragon name.
There you go.
Alright. It's large. Make it bigger.
don't
No,
be
that's
drama
okay.
queen.
It's a tiny Steve.
It's a tiny Steve.
Yeah, leave the back of me a cat forever. Okay with that.
Never forget.
The final scene is just
Yeah.
a fade out onto
He
my
just has like
bare butt.
There's like a
It's like
cat tail
cat-like.
moving back and forth. Doo doo doo.
it's like cat-like tendencies start cropping up. He's like licking himself.
Mhm.
Guys, I need some milk.
Dude, I love it.
He still
Every time
replies
you
with
learn, I'm just
meow
gonna meow.
sometimes.
Meow,
Yeah.
meow, meow.
Hey, Merton, meow. Oh, sorry. Yeah, what's up?
Alright, I shall kill stream. Peace out, stream.
Bye, stream.